Every day I wake up waiting out the door. Nintendo news I can't ignore. Hovering my finger on refresh, repeat. Searching for the leak, my heart's gotta beat. My body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. Rumors flying but nothing confirmed. It's been a mystery, my patience burned. Gotta level up with my imagination in this endless game and stimulation. Whoa, my body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. All we want's a peek, a hint, or a sigh. Just a little nod won't make us cry. Joy-Cons at the ready, hearts in sync. Nintendo dragging on, making us think. We've been resetting time and time again. Our love for Mario, it never ends. Zelda's gathered from the nether horizon. This weight is harder than fighting in us tank. My body is ready for Switch 2. Whoa, 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? About you. Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready for Switch 2. My body is red. My body is red for Switch 2.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast. Mike just keeps showing up, so the song just keeps happening. Although, again, it keeps being appropriate because it's the first day of 2025, which means it is the very beginning of the year of Switch 2, everyone.
Happy Switch 2 year.
Hell
What
yeah.
time to be alive.
My body is so ready for Switch 2. It's been ready. Been ready a long time, and now it finally feels like we're almost at the event horizon, but not quite. Technically, Nintendo said by the end of March, so we'll see what happens. Not quite there. We have a lot of hope for this month, a lot of belief, but then there might be nothing. But there's also an investors meeting on February 4th. Probably something there because they did something the last investors meeting, which was the first investors meeting after they said it was coming. So let's see what happens. But it feels like it's time. Mass manufacturing is underway. We have new leaks today, seemingly from manufacturing.
We do.
You know that things are getting real. It's getting serious now. Nintendo can't even hold it back anymore. We have a company going to CES next year. When I say next year, I mean next week. Next week. Literally next week. That's just going to openly talk about Switch 2 because they don't give a shit. They've even publicly announced it. They publicly announced it, which tells you one thing. They are not an official partner of Nintendo because they would not be able to do it otherwise. But whatever information they got, they're just going to blab it to the world.
Awesome.
And then show off a bunch of Switch 2 accessories because you know what? That's what's happening. This is the reality we live in on the very first day of 2025. I don't even know what's going on. And then Nintendo decides to drop a patent yesterday. What was up with that? Hey, we're gonna remind all you guys. Hey, DLSS upscaling. Yeah, we've been fucking working on it for years, baby. Here's another patent for it. 540p, 1080. Gotcha, no problem. What is going on? I don't even know. We have a lot to get into with Switch 2, but hey, we got to go around and introduce ourselves because we have more than that to talk about. It's a new year. We got resolutions, a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's start with Nick with no K.
Whoa, that's me. First day of the year. Wow. Crazy to be in 2025 because it doesn't feel like January of 2024 was that long ago. But
Right.
here we are. I'm here. I had today off work, so I, in typical fashion, took a lot of time, rested, worked on myself. Wrong. I spent all day scripting videos because when you work full time and you do content on the side, days off are not days off. They're just days I don't have to work. So thus I work on content so that it's done. So I'm like trying to get myself ahead on this new schedule so I can have a healthier work-life balance doing the content. So that is how I spent my New Year's, and now I'm here talking about Switch 2.
Yep.
Kind of.
Kind of. All right. Then we got Mike Odyssey. That's all he got. He's just doing the dance. Audio listeners, you don't know the song we played at the beginning. It's Mike Odyssey. He's got a whole dance he does with it.
It's called the Switch 2. It's like, gimme.
You know, it's a very popular dance move, right?
Well, I renamed it.
Named it.
It's two now.
What dance move is that?
I don't even know what it's called, but I've seen it in a bunch of music videos.
I hate it. That's why I put
Yeah.
it in there. Like, it's horrible. Like,
There's a Fortnite emote for it. I know that.
Yeah, I don't like it either. But
Yeah.
you were mocking pretty much
was,
the
yeah.
90s, 2000s, right?
yeah.
The boy bands, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew what you were getting at. That's why it's so
my
good.
video is a parody.
Mike's the parody of himself.
Parody of the parody. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm here. Thank you, Dave, for the invitation. First podcast of the year. I'm honored. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Switch 2 is coming soon.
Yes.
Coming. I
Yes, it
predict it will come this year, and it will have games.
Wow.
The Nintendo Switch 2 has games.
You're really going out on a limb, Mike. I don't
am,
know.
man. I am.
That's big if true.
All right.
I mean, unless Nintendo just delays it again, like last year, we were exactly like this in January last year.
Getting excited for March. And then
Right.
delayed in February. All right, cool. Supposedly. Now we got conflicting reports. Maybe it wasn't delayed. I don't know. Just show me the thing, Nintendo. I don't gotta worry about it. Nintendo has actually already publicly announced the thing exists, so it's a little different this year. Nintendo's actually talked about the damn thing. All right, Thunderstash. Nice to have you back with your content. Finally got a video out, bud.
Finally, man. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. So yeah, just posted my review today for Metaphor ReFantazio. 150 hours, 150 plus. Okay. And I don't know about you guys, but it's always hard for me to like actually give an accurate like number as to how many hours, right? Because your save file says X amount of hours, right?
Mhm.
Home screen says X amount of hours.
Mhm.
But then you have to factor in all the times that you paused and you walked away to maybe go eat something, take a phone call, something comes up, you gotta use the restroom, all sorts of things come up. Sometimes you pause it. Like I'll pause it to go help Michaela with something. And before you know it, I've been helping her for an hour and the PS5 went into sleep mode. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can I really know the exact hours? So I give a guesstimate, but I know it was about 150. And yeah, go check out the review. Now that is done though, I have so much stuff that I've been sitting on, but I had to be disciplined because you guys know how it goes, right?
Well,
It's
a game
a
like that
project.
requires everything.
It does. And you can't walk away from it. You have to finish it because it's like any project, if you do half of it, 3/4 of it, and you walk away, it may not get done. So you just got to do it so you can move on to the next thing too. So yeah, go check that out, please.
Is that is it a spoiler review or is it like
Spoiler free.
Okay.
So the right after I do the intro, I give the very basic story, which is the same story that you could read right now if you went to probably Wikipedia or the Metaphors homepage. It's literally the introduction. Same thing you kind of see on the demo. So I don't consider it at all to be a spoiler. And I do say it's spoiler free, but I'm sure somebody in the comments will get really mad and be like, you spoiled this game for me. I'd be like, come on, man. It's in the demo. Get over it.
Yeah, that feels like a all fair game. If
Yeah.
it's anything that's in like I don't know, trailers are kind of wishy-washy because some people watch trailers, some don't. My thing is if it's publicly put out by the promotional team, it's fair game.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I will tell you this. I do not like spoilers at all. So I really respect that. And I want to make sure that I don't spoil it for anybody.
I'm such the opposite. It's great. I'm so into spoilers. Anyways, so yeah, you guys, I'm Nintendo Prime. You know what's up at this point with me. If you don't, and it's the first time you've ever heard one of our shows, I am a content creator. Does a bunch of new stuff, mostly Switch 2 right now because we're just waiting for the reveal, and then we get into covering the games and stuff because I'm just not that pumped for like Xenoblade Chronicles X or Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Especially Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Really not pumped for that one. Xenoblade Chronicles X, they added new story content. That's really fascinating. Obviously excited for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and Legends EA. Well, we got one trailer for each of those and no news since. So, like, yeah, what do you want me to do? Just pull news out my ass? So I'm gonna have to wait. Nintendo's gonna probably show more of that stuff fairly soon, probably February. Had to guess. Might have a February direct or something. That being said, a couple little cleanups in the show. Eric Moore will be returning next week, so that's good. It's good to have him back. He's been dealing with that death in the family, of course, the last couple of weeks. Obviously, very understandable. Spending a lot of time with his family, doing all that stuff. Obviously, the holidays, but kind of a somber holidays for him. So, glad to have him back next week. He's doing all good. He popped into the live stream that I did last night to let you guys know he's doing fine. So he'll be back next week. And then Nintendo Talk is no longer going to be part of the show every single week. We came to a mutual agreement on him stepping away from the show. He will be still coming on as a guest, just like Nick with No K or Mike Odyssey or anybody else that we slide in. He'll still be coming on as a guest, every month or so. But yeah, it just wasn't fitting into his schedule, and he's got a lot of stuff going on his life. So there technically is an open spot on the show that you guys can submit applications for if you would like to at nathan@nintendoprime.net. I've already got a bunch of people DMing me on Twitter about it, so I don't really know what I'm doing yet. That's the thing. Like all the people that are like, well, why haven't you just picked me? I'm like, well, one, that's not how this works. I got to examine like a bunch of people. Has to be the right person because I got to make sure I'm not running into another situation that a month from now I'm trying to replace them again. Yep. You know what I mean? So, and I want to be the right fit for the show. Someone who's different, not just going to like not head in agreement with me all the time or just say no just to be different. I want them to give honest opinions with different expertise backgrounds. So there you go. We'll see what happens about that. They don't even necessarily have to be a content creator per se, because maybe that's half the problem. It's going to content creators that are really busy. You know what I mean? This Mike's over there. Hi. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the topic roulette. Obviously, it's me and Stash bouncing back and forth again this week. So, Stash, why don't you go first?
Okay, I will take the New Year's resolutions, both personally, professionally, gaming wise.
Nice.
All right. I want to take a fun topic. So how about I'll take what games are we most looking forward to right now in 2025? Finally, I got something that wasn't Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I have a feeling that's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, for now.
Stash, what are you picking?
I got to go with tradition, man. I'm going to let you cover Switch 2. I have no idea what I'm going to do for Dealer's Choice, but I'm going to take it anyways.
It worked out last week, right?
Yeah, and it's tradition, man. So I'll let you cover that Switch 2 stuff.
All right. Then I got the giant Switch 2 topic. It literally says Nintendo Switch 2's motherboard and chipset is seemingly leaked, and more details next week. Also, it's the year of Switch 2. There's like 5 topics in there. Honestly, could be the whole podcast could be about it. But you know what? We'd like to throw some more stuff in there. It'll be the last big topic of the show. So, all right, Stash, what are we talking about first here? What are we doing?
Let's go with the New Year's resolutions, guys. I can go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't write any down, so didn't write it out.
Some of these run together, right? And some of these are little comments. So I'll give you guys some info. Share a little bit of personal stuff with you guys. I usually wouldn't. One thing I want to do that is, of course, a personal goal is to just exercise more, eat better, pretty standard, right?
Yeah.
I think we could all probably say that. I'm turning 40 in May. I would like to live for a long time. I really enjoy life. I truly do. I want to live for a very long time.
At least 10 more years.
Oh, man, I want to live till at least 100. That's the goal, right? I would like to, as long as I feel good. I'd like to be able to see everything that's going to happen in the world, everything with video games. I definitely, I still have the Phoenix Suns winning a championship on my bucket list since 1992. So I don't know how long that's going to take, and I have zero control over that, which sucks.
Wow. Since Charles Barkley was playing in the Suns.
Yep, since we got him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, watched all the games, every single game. I have not missed a game. Did you guys know that? I don't know if I've ever told you.
Yeah, you brought it up, I think, once in a when we were talking afterwards. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so it's a very serious thing for me. Another goal is to continue to improve with YouTube as far as video editing efficiency. I don't know if everyone knows, but I started doing this 2 years ago. I think I posted my first video January 1st, 2023. And I had literally knew absolutely nothing. And I know a little bit more than that now. As we all know, anyone who does video editing, there's just so much to learn. I didn't take any classes or learn anything. I didn't learn any of this in school. When I was in school, we were using the Apple computers and playing Oregon Trail. Literally, not even the transparent Apple computers. I'm talking, I think the Apple IIs were the ones we had.
Wow.
Oregon Trail and number munchers, baby.
Yeah, and ClarisWorks. Remember ClarisWorks? Yep. Classic. So yeah, this is all still like really new. So I want to just continue to work at that, get better with that, so I can create, of course, a greater amount of content and play and review more games. Another goal, of course, is to ensure that my body is ready, both physically and mentally, to cover the Switch 2 launch. I mean, for real, right? Like, you got to be ready. Part of that is getting a decent amount of sleep. I think that helps. I think eating right helps. All that stuff, exercising so you have enough energy, because it's gonna be heavy, right, guys?
It's gonna be. I don't know how I'm gonna survive.
I don't know how you're gonna do it, man.
I literally won't get to sleep for like 2 months. It's gonna be bad.
I have a couch here, so I can sleep in the studio. I have a couch right there. So
yeah, if I do that though, I might get yelled at. Then again, with how much I'll be working, I might not be allowed to sleep in the bed anyway. So, but I got the couch over there.
It's true. Guess you have to cross that bridge when you get there. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
She already knows it's going to be a lot, and I'm already working a lot. So, oh boy. Anyways.
Let's see. Okay, so as far as, subscriber count and that, again, I don't look at my numbers. I don't look at anything. I don't want to. So I would say I'd like to just continue to grow the channel and grow it getting better with my content. I'll be doing some work this year with Mike that I'm looking forward to with Indie Mania. That is something that's on my goal list, to do a good job with that, of course. And then one thing I haven't told you guys really about, I can't say much, actually. I found out that I'm really not allowed to say much, but I am starting a job in addition to doing YouTube. It was an opportunity that it came up that I literally could not say no to. Is with the government, and I have a certain clearance where I'm actually not. I can't even put this on my like LinkedIn or anything. I can't say what it is publicly. There are obviously some people that know, but it's a really good opportunity, and it's work from home. And as long as I do good, it's a 10-year contract. And as long as I continue to do good, I'll get another 10 years. So this is one of those things where it's like, man, this is perfect, right? For doing YouTube and what I do, to not have to go drive in to an office and sit in traffic for hours in the morning and hours coming home. I did that for years in mortgage and in the restaurants. And it's the biggest waste of time in the world sitting in traffic, especially when you can do your job from home and be more efficient. So, pretty hyped about that. Those are some of my personal goals. Maybe a couple gaming things. You know, when I think about gaming goals, it's like a lot of them are hopes and dreams, right, guys? It's like, what do we hope to happen in 2025, right? But I did have a couple of goals, I guess you could say, maybe just one, but I looked to see how many games I reviewed in 2024 on my YouTube channel. It was 45 games. So, of course, the goal is to what? Review more games, right? And I think I can because I've really learned as the years went on, like as 2024 went on, and with each review, and you guys know this, you try and get a little bit faster, a little bit better each time to try and make every step count. And so you can do everything faster, but without obviously cutting any corners or sacrificing any quality. So I think I can definitely do more than that this year, which I'm excited about. Excited about that opportunity. And again, I feel like I'm going to have to with Switch 2 anyways, and all these other games coming out that we will be talking about, Nate, in your topic that I'm very excited about. So that's pretty much it, I think, for me. It's going to be a fun year, right? 2025, my 40th birthday, Nintendo's 40th anniversary, Mario's 40th birthday, or of Super Mario Brothers at least. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
There was a patent about that.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, about the
Mario.
anniversary celebration?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about it.
Why would Nintendo patent again or update the patent for Mario 35th? But there's more squares now in the patent.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait to hear about it. So with that said, Mike, why don't you go next then?
About what? What are we doing?
Let's hear your New Year's resolution.
New Year's resolutions.
So I renewed the one from last year about losing weight. That one has been renewed. I paid my bills. That one, I kind of had to sign another contract with that one. But but I've been renewing every single year. It's like T-Mobile or TNT. Have to kind of an annual contract with that one. So this year again, but this year is a little more serious than last year. And each year gets more serious when it comes to weight loss and health. So I'm on that train as well. Health wise, of course, trying to get my eyesight better, because one of my goals is to actually publish start publishing reviews on the channel. Not more. I have a concept that I started called speed run reviews. Right, so it's like I speed run through a review of a game, give you all the highlights, details, everything you need to know to kind of get into it, spoiler free. So I do have one speed run review on the channel. That's it. One.
What game was it for?
It was for what was it?
Mike, it's only one.
It was Mario Party. Not Mario Party. The other one. Paper Mario. Paper Mario.
Brothership?
Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got that one review. I did that one just to see how I felt about it, how it came out. So I liked it. I'm gonna probably do more of those. But of course, I'm like Nate, covering news. I like products, so I'm gonna cover more products, more unboxings. I have one unboxing I did last week. I'm gonna do a lot more. I have this little thing here because I'm a partner with Aver Media. So they sent me this. I'm not sure if it's available yet, but I'll keep showing you anyway. This thing here, which is a capture card. It's a external battery at the same time. It's a plug. It's so you can capture game footage while you're out, like on the car or whatever. It'll capture in here. So it's a external battery. It's a capture card. It's one of those. It's like a Steam, like like a capture card like this one. Like you can actually use it at like a regular capture card, but it's like a portable one that you can take also with you, and also a battery. So it has a lot of more. So I'm gonna do video on this because I know that a lot of people, because of Twitter, Nintendo getting rid of Twitter, we don't even know if they're going to bring it back with Switch 2. So this little device here can help a lot of people capture their footage and then just kind of transfer it onto the computer and then, share their clips and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So,
that's intriguing, actually. I'm
yeah,
looking forward to you doing your video on that
yeah,
because that is a thing for sure. Is when you're traveling,
yeah, yeah.
trying to capture game footage. I traveled this past summer,
Hmm.
and it was the week that Nintendo World Championship
Yeah.
and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate came
Hmm.
out, and I'm like, I got all these wires coming out of me
Yeah.
as I'm sitting on the airplane. I'm just like, man, I wish this was easier, right? Because
Yeah.
there's no plugs either. There
Yeah.
was one plug, and I was surprised, but
Hmm.
I really need two.
Hmm.
And if I had a capture card that could you run off a battery pack,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be a good solution.
Yeah, this is a battery pack and a capture card, and it has a little prong so you can you plug it at the same time and whatever. That's pretty cool. I'll do that one. I also have the AR Neo glasses, AR Neo Air 2, whatever. That I need to
Yeah.
do also. So yeah, my resolution, of course,
Back up, baby.
my resolution for this year, 100K on the channel, more reviews, speed run reviews. Just because I can't make more longer reviews than that one, just kind of eyesight problem. But hopefully it can get better. And yeah, eat more food, and gain a couple pounds.
So you're saying the reverse of what you want to do.
Hug my wife more, hug my kids more. Mow the lawn when I'm told. Take out the trash when I'm told.
They say that you don't do those things presently.
I do. I do. Yeah,
All right.
typical resolutions. Stuff.
All right. Nick, what are your resolutions?
Well, I'll organize them here a little bit. Personally, kind of the same, like the very bog standard, like work out more, eat better. I'm trying to cut back on how much I eat out because
That's a big
I
one.
work in an office 5 days a week. So it's very easy, even if I bring lunch, because one of my coworkers, he literally never brings lunch. We've worked together for a year and a half, and he has never brought lunch one day we've worked. So he's always going out to get food, and he'll like pop in my office and be like, "Hey, you want to go get some fast food?" And I'm like, "No, it's literally in the fridge. I brought lunch." So I'm going to try to do better about not eating out as much. One, because it's ridiculously expensive, and two, it's not that healthy. So
Good for you.
Yeah, I support that. I never went out for lunch. I never took a lunch, but I actually bought a mini refrigerator, brought it to work, got my lunch, my food for the week, put it in the fridge. That's it. Easy, man.
I never skipped lunch.
Inexpensive.
it's that easy. It's so much easier to like bulk buy food, make lunch for the week than go out every day. Cause like
Yeah.
lunch nowadays at a fast food restaurant, your starter is like $10 to $12, which is like $50 a week at minimum. So imagine if
Totally.
you put that in, like, you can spend $100 and have food for like 2 weeks.
I agree. And it's the cost. It's obviously not as healthy, right? There's no two ways about it. And the biggest thing for me when I'm at work is that when you have lunch, so many people come back from lunch and the your personal production completely goes down because you eat this food, your body's digesting it, you're sitting down at a desk, and the production goes down. So I would always eat like a super, super light lunch again that I'd bring in.
Yep.
And because I want to keep the production high all day because I was working in a bonus structure atmosphere. So I'm trying to pump out as many loans as possible. So I get it, man. This is good.
Yeah.
I support this.
So that working out, there's a couple like financial ones I want to do that require me to be a little more intentional with my budget, which is nice. And then content wise, I've got a couple. I am very I try to keep my goals very realistic and reachable. So I don't want to be like 50,000 on the YouTube channel. Like that's a little far out there. So I'm like, And I try to take it in like quarters too, of like, okay, first 3 months, here's where I want to be at the end of the first 3 months. And then we go into the second quarter and then the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and just try to segment it out like that. But my overarching goal for the year is to have all of my content self-sustainable. So like my anime YouTube channel is monetized now, and it's gotten to a point where like I could use the ad revenue to pay for Premiere Pro for a year, which was
Mhm.
nice because I do use that
There you go.
every day. And then my podcast that I do, I want to get that YouTube channel monetized so that those videos can start just bringing in passive income every time we post an episode. And then I've started streaming on Twitch. So like I want to get my Twitch monetized so that can take donations and ad revenue and that kind of stuff. Just so that by the end of this year, I'm not having to put any more personal money into content. Not that there's anything wrong with that,
Yeah.
but it is nice to take that financial burden off and everything starts paying for itself, which is just nice. And it's
It's a
alleviated
W.
stress.
Yeah, it's a W for sure.
So, and then I think gaming wise, right now the only game resolution I have is to finally finish Persona 3 Reload because it's almost a year old and I still haven't finished it yet. Kind of like what you were saying, Stash, with if you start a project and you get halfway through and you stop. Yeah, I haven't played that game in like 3 months because I like to be intentional when I sit down and play it, and like
Yeah.
I haven't had the time to sit down and be intentional. So instead of just putting an hour here, hour there, and knocking it out over time, I'm like, well, I don't have 3 hours to sit down and play, so I guess I won't play it. So, and I told myself I'm not buying any more games until I finish Persona 3, I finish Mario and Luigi, and then I need to play Echoes of Wisdom because I got that for Christmas. So once I finish those 3, then I can start buying games again, which includes Switch 2 games. So that's a little more incentive to actually finish the games in a reasonable amount of time. Otherwise, I'll be sitting here next year and be like, oh, I still haven't finished Persona, but it's fine.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good goal, actually. I was going to say that should give you the motivation to get it all wrapped up before Switch 2.
Got to get your body ready for Switch 2, man.
I sure do.
God, man, you gotta.
All right. So look, I didn't really make any resolutions personally. So I've just been listening to you guys, and I'm kind of like, well, look, obviously there's the health resolutions, but I'm like already on medication that's gonna basically guarantee that happens anyway. So I'm not really gonna focus on that for myself because that's something that I already started before we got to the new year. However, I do want to do something this year. This is just something my fiance will appreciate. Try to find more time to spend with just her. I don't know how I'm gonna find it, but I gotta find it. I gotta find some time for her and I to actually like be a couple and not just parents and working and all that stuff all the time. So I don't know, date night once a week or something. I don't know, I'll figure it out, but we're definitely that's definitely a goal of mine this year. I don't even want her to know about it. She doesn't watch the podcast, so it's just something I'm gonna do. Which unfortunately won't start this week because she's heading out to Orlando on Friday. So
Pick her up at the airport.
she's gone for a week. I'm the one taking her to the airport and back, but then my daughter's in there, so is her sister. It's a whole thing. Anyways, so it won't be this week, but maybe next week when she gets back. That being said, that's kind of like my personal thing. I'm just gonna leave it at one. Sometimes you stack too many of those things, and it's just kind of unrealistic to get all of those personal goals in. So that's the one for me personally. Professionally with the YouTube channel, like there's always goals, right? There's always goals. I could throw something out there like I want to hit 200,000 subscribers. It'd be nice, but the subscriber count doesn't really matter. It's growing the average views and growing the average revenue. Business stuff that no one really likes to talk about, but I'm a full-timer. This is my job. So like that's the stuff that matters, is growing the average views per video and growing the revenue of the channel. And I don't know that I have any like specific goal, like, oh, I want videos to average 30,000 views and I want X amount of money per month. But I do know that the last 2 years, my first 2 years being full-time, they basically were the exact same each year. So there was no growth, which happens. The fact that I was even able to maintain is crazy considering that last year was not a great year for me as a news channel. But the goal this year is obviously to get back to growth and get back to being better off financially for me and my family at the end of the year than I am at the beginning of the year. That is literally a professional goal of mine. I can control a lot of it. A lot of it I can't. All I got to do is bust my ass and hope the algorithm favors me along the way. So we'll see what happens. The Switch 2 console launch should help. In theory, I am technically the number one search result for Switch 2. So if they keep that name, I might be in a good position there. But they might not. It's rumors that it's still going to use that name. So, so there's that. Would it be cool to get 200,000? Sure, I'll do a big celebration, a bunch of giveaways and stuff if it happens. But look, we hit 130,000. We hit that in 2023. So then we only gained like 5, 6, 7,000 last year. So it's like, let's not like shoot for the moon here. Let's just see what happens. The other goal, and this is just in general, 0 months with negative subs. All summer long, all I did was lose subscribers every month. So it would be nice to have a full year where even if it's break even, it's still not negative. Then gaming wise, the biggest thing for me gaming wise is just also making sure that I, just like with my fiance, allow myself the time to actually play games. I do play games every week, but it's so sporadic. I feel like I need to find a way to schedule it in on specific days for like this set amount of time. Daddy's playing games, because otherwise I'm still going to play it sporadically when I have time, but it gets so spread out. Like I haven't finished Echoes of Wisdom yet because I'm only playing it like an hour here, a random hour there. And you might go, well, is that all the game you played this week? Well, no, I played like 5 hours of Fortnite with my kids. I played Mario Party. I did this, but like the game I wanted to play, I only had time to fit like an hour in. So, trying to find more time to if you notice, maybe I got a time management problem, guys. 2 of my goals are related to time. So just throwing it out there that like, that's kind of, maybe that's a general purpose goal, is just having things more on schedule, which by the way, the reason it's so off schedule is because I'm a YouTuber, because welcome to YouTube. News comes and I have to cover it when it happens. Sometimes that means like financial meetings happening in the middle of the fucking night, where Furukawa was dropping a tweet at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, well, shit, I got to go make a video because it's 2:30 in the morning. And Furukawa just basically announced the new system. So, things happen, but it's okay. It's the positives and the negatives of the job. The positives is I'm my own boss. I can walk away anytime I want for any reason I need to. The negatives, the schedule's kind of all over the place. And I don't get PTO or 6 days. That sucks. I've been sick for like 2 months. I haven't been able to take a day off. It is what it is. I'm sick right now. Life moves on. So there we go. Those are just kind of my general goals. I don't want to sit here and talk everyone's ears off. We can go get into the next topic though, because this next one's also a fun one, because this is just about what games are we most looking forward to right now in 2025. And the big thing about this is the right now aspect, because obviously we could project games that could get announced, but we already know games that have been announced for this year. So those are kind of the ones that we stick to. Hey, what are we most excited for? So I'm going to give 5 games. First one's really obvious. Metroid Prime Formion. Just is what it is. Love Metroid Prime. Love Metroid. I don't think it needs much explanation. If you're a Nintendo fan, you love Metroid. That's just one of the ones that you got to have on there. And then Legends EA. Like those are the 2 big ones that Nintendo's publishing. That I'm just stupidly excited for. And I think makes just a lot of sense. I really love Legends. It's my favorite Pokemon game of all time. So I'm hoping ZA can stack up, but we'll see. All right. So that's 2. That's 2. So let me give you 3 more. Avowed. Really looking forward to Avowed. And hey, look, people are like, Xbox don't have any games. Yeah, I get the games are everywhere. But for right now, I got Game Pass, baby. So like, I'm still finishing off Indiana Jones right now. Mm-hmm. So I got that one going on my Xbox. It's like, Avowed. I don't even got to pay for it. It's right there on Game Pass. I'll just download and play. It's pretty sick. It's one thing I like about Game Pass, but also it's not working out that well for Microsoft. So I'm not sure how much longer Game Pass will be around for. But hey, so that's one of the ones that I'm really, really, really excited about. Another one that I'm really excited about, and it's for weird reasons. So Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm really excited for, but I'm excited for because I think it's going to be on Switch too. So I want to see how it runs in comparison to other systems. That's what excites me the most about. I know I'm not going to put the thousands of hours you can put into Monster Hunter because it's like an infinite game. But I'll probably put a couple dozen into it and have a good time because I do enjoy Monster Hunter. And then the last game that we tend to know about, just glancing at the list, I had a giant list, but then I realized some of these games are actually not next year. I'm gonna throw out there. I was about to say Silk Song, but I mean, do we even know if that game exists anymore?
Yep.
I think it still does.
It does.
It's tentative 2025 right now. That's what it says on the website. It's tentative. You know what? It says tentative. I'm gonna go with Silk Song. I'm gonna believe that someday that game is coming. That I didn't just play a demo of a game that doesn't exist. Vaporware in 2019. I'm gonna believe 6 years after I played a demo, the game's coming out this year. I'll throw Silk Song in the mix. All right.
Summer games. Summer games.
Let's go to. Let's see. Let's go to Mike.
Oh, thank
What
goodness.
is
I
that?
don't have 5
Yeah,
yet.
I was looking at your face, Nick, and I'm like, I don't
No,
think.
no, I don't have 5.
So it's our prediction for this year?
It's your most anticipated games that we know are coming this year.
Okay. Oh, we know are coming this year. Okay.
Yeah, that we know. So it can't be ones that aren't announced yet.
Okay. Metro Prime 4, of course, is one. I literally am playing now Metro Prime Remaster. I have not beaten that Metro. I only beaten Metro Dread. And I'm playing Metro Prime Remaster. The more I play, the more I get excited about Metro Prime 4 Beyond. Just because of the visuals. I like shooters. I'm a very big fan of this. What's this game called? The one with the shooting and with the space, and with it's a free to play game.
Free to play space shooter.
Yeah, it's forgot the name of the game.
Is it multiplayer?
It's multiplayer. Yeah, it has a story and it has a multiplayer also.
Is it indie game?
No, it's a big game. Just can't remember the name right now. Let's see what else do I have here on my list. Pokemon Legends EA, of course. Although I think there's another Pokemon coming, but the one that we know, Pokemon Legends EA. Another one. I'm looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles 10. X. I actually started playing it on the Wii U. I actually started playing it on the Wii U, and then all of a sudden the announcement comes from the port. I'm like, whatever, man. I just stopped playing it, and then I'm gonna play it on Switch. So that one is one I'm looking forward to. That we know are coming. Donkey Kong, I'm gonna play it. I have not played it because remember it was on what? It was on GameCube first, or Wii. Donkey Kong Remastered.
Country Returns.
Yeah,
It was on Wii.
It was a Wii game. Yeah, Wii
And
then
then 3DS.
3DS, then now Switch. But the best version it was on 3DS, right? Because that's like the most updated version with new stuff, right?
Extra levels. Yep.
There's extra levels. Yeah.
And there's
So-
8.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play that one. I'm gonna see if I can do a speedrun review. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try to do a speedrun review of every game coming out this year for Switch, at least mainline game.
What does that even mean? What's mainline and what's not?
Mainline, like
First party.
first party, yeah. Main like did I say
That
main,
might be a game every month.
I
Good
said
luck.
mainline. What is that? Is that a
You can do it. You can do a speedrun review on first party only.
yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't
I have
review.
faith in you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to offer to game review.
What else? Hollow Knight Silk Song. It's coming this year. What else? There's this other game that's coming this year from this other company. Man, I'm having a brain fart right now. I'm forgetting everything. The girl who stole time. The girl who steals time. Something about Fantasyland or Fantasy Island or Fantasy People.
Fantasy Life.
Fantasy Life. That one. Yeah.
There
that
you go.
one. Yeah, it's like an Animal Crossing kind of type of game,
Yeah.
but I like the fact that there's like RPG elements to it, which is pretty cool. Looking forward to that one. What else? I think that's it. Did I say 5 already?
Did you say? I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, I mentioned
I
all the
lost
games.
track. I'm still trying to figure out what this free-to-play space shooter is.
Destiny.
Oh, Destiny.
Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah. Destiny.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Got
I played it a lot on Stadia. When Stadia was a thing. I was like,
Stadia.
I actually invested in Stadia when it first came out. I got the founders pack. I never had an issue with Stadia. I love Stadia. That's why I believe in cloud gaming, because I like it. It's easy. It's at load. But yeah, Metro Prime 4, that trailer kind of gave me Stadia vibes. So I'm not Stadia vibes, sorry, Destiny vibes.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Stash.
Okay. I have a list. This is a long list, and it's not complete.
I will raise my hand whenever I agree with one of yours, and then I'll pick that. I'll take it for
I mean, yeah, I do.
I
I
like
love
that.
some bangers. There's like the Ghost of Yotoi coming. We have
Yes.
the new Elden Ring, Night
Yep.
Rain. Like I already know of games that I'm like, gosh, why don't I even say those ones? There's so many coming.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Like, there's so much to be excited about, and I was just telling chat that I'm working on my, most anticipated games of 2025 video that I'll probably put out tomorrow or Saturday. And like, this isn't really hard because these are games I've been thinking about. I know about all these games, so I am legit excited, and this list will only grow. You guys know this because we only know so many games right now today, right? Like, if you've looked at the video game calendars, chat, you as well. If you've had a habit throughout your life, which I have since IGN was first around in 96, of looking at video game release calendars on the internet back in the AOL days and the days of Net Zero. If you guys ever had Net Zero.
Oh, Net Zero.
Yeah, that's how you got on the internet for free back in the day. But if you look at it, it's like, man, there's so many games that are TBA. And obviously there's so many games that have just not been announced, period, yet that will come out this year. But the calendar is looking super light right now. However, there's still a ton. So let me get into this. Monster Hunter Wilds, no doubt. Now, as Nate mentioned too, this is a game that I really believe is going to come to Switch too. And, I played the demo on PS5, and it runs at 30 FPS. So, there is no option to run it at 60. It's 30 FPS. And it's just like Dragon's Dogma 2. That came out March of last year. Same thing. It's using the same engine from Capcom, and it's running 4K 30 frames per second. So I gotta imagine on Switch 2 that would run fine. What, 1080 30
4K 60
or 4K 60 docked, or 4K 30 docked, not 60. I don't know about 60, but 30 docked. At any rate, whatever the resolution and frame rate's going to be, that's just a game that it's like, if I'm really busy with other stuff at that point, I might go into a holding pattern and be like, you know what? I'm not going to buy it immediately because I got a couple games to play. And because I'm also hoping this comes out on Switch 2. Because again, this is one of those games that are really nice to like be able to play in bed portably. And kind of play it everywhere, because it's a game that you put a lot of hours into, or you can. Crimson Desert.
Oh yeah,
that game looks sick.
That game does look good.
Yeah, and we saw some updated footage of that at the Game Awards, and it's looking nice. It's looking like it's coming together really good, and that it should hit the 2025 release date that they said it's going to. So, my third one, guys, the Switch launch, of course.
Mm.
Here's the thing, and that's one thing I'm going to preface in my video is that, yeah, this is my list now, right? But and it doesn't take away from any of the games that I'll mention. However, there's going to be a lot more that's going to join, right? We got the launch lineup. We got whatever comes out in the summer and the fall. We got the flagship title that will come out in October, November. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to here.
Based on the Switch's first 9 months, it should be packed.
Yeah, it's good. It's just gonna be nuts. It's gonna be so busy. I'm probably never gonna leave my house except to go to the gym and check the mail. Metroid Prime 4, obviously, and I will say I'm looking forward, and I'm gonna put this out there, right? I'm looking forward to playing Metroid Prime 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, I don't see any scenario where they don't release 2 and 3 before 4.
Sure.
It would be completely illogical. That's easy money, and you need those games for to hit its maximum sales potential, as we know. Ghost of Yotai, yes, on the list. Fable, are we gonna get it?
I hope.
We'll see.
I
We'll
hope.
see. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll see.
I think they said it's 2025.
Yeah, they did. They said it, but we all know what happens, right? Delays happen, and if they do, no big deal. There's so many games. So, Metal Gear Solid Delta, aka Snake Eater.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. Mafia: The Old Country.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one. Yep.
I'm Italian, so obviously I'm looking forward to this. Pokemon Legends ZA, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you say it backwards, AZ, Arizona edition. Elden Ring, Night Rain, hyped. That looks cool. I'm interested to see how that's going to work. I'm not doubting it at all because it's From Software, man. They know what they're doing. So I'm like legitimately, I'm interested to see how it plays. It should be really fun. GTA 6, if we get it, again, big F. They say we're gonna. Not holding my breath. I would tell anyone, don't hold your breath. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster. So excited for that. So have you guys played that game?
Which one?
Suikoden or Suikoden?
Nope.
By Konami. So back in the day, I remember, and I gotta imagine this was like a low print run, even on the PS1 back in the day. I think it came out in 97. And I remember seeing it at Gamers, my local video game store that sold used games.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 2 games that I saw there on PS1 that I really wanted to play. And at that age, they were just too expensive, man. Used. I'm talking like $150 to $250. As a kid in the 90s, late 90s, that is way too much money, especially because I was just starting to work at 13, like getting paid under the table work. You don't have money for that. You guys know this.
Mm-hmm.
But those games, the games were Suikoden, and it was the Lunar Silver Star story. So you guys, obviously, both those games are coming out this year. The remastered collection. I couldn't believe it. Like, these are JRPGs that I've wanted to play. I remember renting Suikoden and just not getting enough time to sink into it because it's a massive game. They never had Lunar for rent. Nobody did for some reason. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. But those 2 games are like what I got to play earlier this year, which was Star Wars Dark Forces remaster by Night Dive Studios, who they kick ass when it comes to those first person shooter remakes. They're so good. And so playing that Star Wars Dark Forces on the PS5 with the DualSense controller, the way they took advantage of everything, It ran in 4K at 120 frames per second. It was just badass. And I'm like, that was a game that we bought back in the day at Costco,
Mhm.
back when Costco sold PC games, big box games. And, I have a whole story about it in my review, but long story short, we got home and obviously the computer couldn't run it, right? We were way under spec. Never got to play it. 30 years go by, 30 years, and I got to play it this year. So this is a very similar story, I think, with that. Double Dragon Revive. I'm a big Double Dragon fan. I grew up on it. Didn't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. I played it with my brothers, played with my cousin. Double Dragon 1, 2, even 3. It's definitely not as good, but Double Dragon 2 for me is like peak Double Dragon from back in the day. Love those games. Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Oh, yes.
Right? That game looks cool.
Yeah, that game's in my top 10 for next year right now.
Yeah. So hype for that. A game that I'm not seeing on any of the release calendars, not even in the TBA section, and I don't know why. So if someone in chat knows why, please correct me, or if you guys do. Hades 2 on console.
Oh.
Because Hades 2 is already available on Steam in early access. It was a long time ago.
Yep.
I must presume that is coming to consoles in 2025. And I would not be surprised at all if it's a Switch 2 launch title or launch window game. Why wouldn't it be? It sold very well on Switch. So,
Sure.
Big fan of Hades. Really had a good time with that. Doom the Dark Ages, guys.
Mm.
Yeah, that game looks awesome, right? Like really, really good. Here's a couple of smaller ones, and then I'm done. Toxic Crusaders. I am legit looking forward to that. It's by RetroWare. I did review their game Iron Meat, which is really a love letter to Contra.
Yeah,
Loved the game. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Their other game though that's coming out this year, I think, from what I've gathered, it's called the Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I've always been a supporter of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. It's received hate since I was a kid. It still receives hate today, just the same amount, if not more, because we have social media now. But I've always said, without Simon's Quest, we don't get Symphony of the Night.
Nope.
We don't. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to be. I am looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles X. I am. I'm looking forward to it because I haven't played it since it came out. I forgot things. I forgot a lot of it, actually. So I'm looking forward to playing that. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake. That's coming out this year. Like the JRPGs, man. Oh my God. And I love JRPGs. It might be RPGs in general are really my bread and butter. But JRPGs might be my favorite. Sea of Stars DLC.
Awesome.
It looks like it's going to be a big expansion. And I'm going to give one last one that, who knows what's going on with this game? Who knows? But I will say this game is the reason I bought the OG Xbox. And that's Knights of the Old Republic remake. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Such an amazing game. And you know what? I literally bought an Xbox for it, and I did not regret it at all. That was the reason I bought it. I played other games too. I remember playing Half-Life on it. It's amazing. But KOTOR, huge fan. There it is. That's a lot of games, I know.
All right. Nick with no K. You got to have a list by now, buddy.
Yeah. I got my list now. I was gonna say, I only have 4 because I don't have a lot, so I was just gonna do a game for my backlog. But Stash mentioned Doom, and I had to put it on there because I'm playing through Doom Eternal on stream right now, and I'm having so much fun with it. So I don't know how I'm gonna play it because I don't have any of the platforms that it's gonna be on, but maybe it'll be on Switch too. I don't know. Then that would make a lot of sense.
It will be. Doom Eternal's on there
It makes
on
sense.
Switch 1.
Just
And it runs good.
Just said, not announced for it yet.
not announced, but you know, it
I
could
will.
be. So there's that. I kind of had to fill out my list here a little bit. Because I really only play Nintendo games. Like I'm just not a big third party guy unless it's on Switch. So because there aren't a lot of games announced for Switch, my outlook for the year is pretty hampered at the moment. But I do want to get Donkey Kong Country Returns HD at some point because despite this being the third port of the game, or third version, I guess, I still have not played it. So I didn't play it on Wii, didn't play it on 3DS, so I'm gonna get it on Switch and play it. Probably on stream because then I can be productive by making content and also play a game. So
Nice.
I'm gonna do that. I'm really looking forward to Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I want to play 1 and get the remaster, play that, and then hopefully do 2 and 3, and then play 4. Because I don't know. I talked about it on a prior podcast I was on. I think right after the Direct. There was just something about that trailer that really hooked me, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll try it. Everybody's talking about how cool Metroid Prime is. Okay, fine. I'll try it. So I'm looking forward to Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Also very much looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition because I didn't play it on Wii U. I went to a couple used stores to try and get a copy, and they were all like over $100, and I'm like, nah, not that worth it. I'm a Xenoblade fan, but I'm not like, I'll just wait. They'll probably bring it to Switch eventually, and they did. So I will definitely be getting that. Because I love Xenoblade. I have the Monado on my wall right there. So very excited about that. And then the one game that this was like the first one that popped into my head that wasn't Nintendo, but will presumably be on Switch is Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles 2. It's the sequel to the last one they made, but it is, in my humble opinion, one of the best anime games because I feel like all the anime fighters end up being the same. It's just characters punching on a 2-dimensional screen, and it's like really boring and lame. But I love Demon Slayer, and
Demon Slayer.
I feel like they did a really good job of like bringing that fighting style into a fighting game and making it really fun. So they're hopefully just going to improve on all of the things from the last game.
Yeah.
So that was like the one when I saw the announcement drop on Twitter, I was like standing in my office and I just started shouting and all my coworkers were freaking out. And they were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they just announced a sequel to a game that I didn't know was getting a sequel." And now I'm really excited. So, and of course there'll be a bunch of Switch 2 stuff when that comes out that, I'm like, oh, I don't have any games now, but give it like a month, 2 months, 3 months, and I'll be like, well, now I don't have enough money for all the games that I want. So we'll see what ends up happening, but that's what I got for now.
I'm going to throw 2 more in quick. Civ 7. Love Civ. Huge Civ fan.
Yeah.
So really glad the 7's coming. I'm going to play it on PC, not Switch, but I'm really excited for it. So those kind of strategy games are definitely mouse and keyboard for me. Then Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 comes out this year. And I love the first one. And if you guys haven't played the first one and you have a PC, guys, it's free on the Epic Store right now. You can play it for free. So, yeah, just throwing that out there as I'm really excited for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm not sure what I'm going to play it on. I'm not sure which platform I'm going to play that one on yet. We'll see. The first one did end up coming out on Switch eventually. So maybe it'll be on Switch too. If that's the case, that's probably where I'll get it. But assuming it runs well, which I'm sure it'll run fine. Obviously, we don't really know. We gotta get to the Switch 2 topic, but not yet. Not yet. We have one more topic before we get to the big boy. I don't even know what this topic is. I don't even know if the person who's doing the topic knows what it is.
it's something that we just kind of talked about, actually. It's something you brought up, Mike. And it's just something that has just been on my mind as like we've gotten closer, to 2024 ending, and now we're here. It's 2025. And it's just something I'm like really excited about. And it's not just like for me turning 40, but it's like what is Nintendo going to do this year for the 40th? And you said you got some sort of info on a patent, but I'm talking everything, guys. Like I want to hear your thoughts, and chat, I want to hear your thoughts too. What do you expect Nintendo to do? Because this is a big deal. Like if you're Nintendo's marketing team, my God, like you're earning your salary, right?
Yeah.
You really are, because you have the Switch 2 launch. You have to somehow like sort of sunset Switch and transition to Switch 2, even though Switch 1 will be continue to be supported probably till 2027. I think we're all probably on the same page there. Maybe 2028, who knows? There's always a few stragglers. I don't know about first party, but you got that transition, which in itself is a huge deal. But then it's like, it's also the 40th. I expect Zelda, the movie, to have at least casting announced. I think you do too, right, Mike?
Yep. Yeah.
There's so much going on in these next 12 months for Nintendo. It's Mario's birthday. It's the birthday of the NES, which of course is what saved the video game crash, the market from crashing from Atari, from all the damn Ataris that came out, the Atari, the 2600, the 5200, the 7800, E.T., the E.T. game, buried out in the desert. We all know those stories. There's a lot going on this year. So how are they going to celebrate everything? And what are we going to see? Like what kind of merchandise? I'm excited for some merch. They're going to be selling at the museum. Are they going to do something special at the museum? There's a lot that could happen this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to make. What, Mike? Are you dropping giveaway codes in the chat right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a Switch code for something. Anyways, enjoy chat. Whoever nabs it. No, what I was gonna say is I need to get a friend in Japan. I need that merch from the museum so bad.
I am going to be a little doom and gloomer here.
Oh,
I don't think they're going to do anything
For
because
Mario?
I've been burned on this before.
Yeah, that was Zelda.
I got so burned on the Zelda stuff. I'm
They
like,
don't
no,
skip
I'm not
Mario.
doing this anymore.
They never skip Mario.
Yeah, but they also had never skipped Zelda up until that point.
Mario's the mascot, man.
Yeah, but Zelda. I don't know.
And there's a movie coming in April next year.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so that was kind of an intro. I think they'll do something. I don't think they're gonna be like, oh my goodness, here's like a bajillion different things, because I think Switch 2 is gonna end up taking up a majority of the marketing hype cycle. But they may reach a certain point where they're like, okay, let's do a Mario 40th direct, and there's your teaser trailer for the second movie, and here's another like Mario Kart, here's some more Legos, here's that kind of stuff. And then I mean, outside of that, I don't see much. I was already expecting like a Zelda casting announcement. Honestly, I was kind of expecting that last year. But
For the Legend of Zelda?
yeah,
No,
because they announced the director at the end of 2023. So I figured, oh, by the end of 2024, surely you'll have your cast picked out.
yeah, they already have a starting filming date on the 6th of this month.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So they have cast. They just haven't made an announcement yet.
Yeah.
Which maybe they will at the February direct. Just
I also think
throw it in there.
maybe the Mario movie, because we know that's coming out first. So maybe they just want to like focus promoting that.
That would make a lot of sense.
I can understand that. I mean, I want to say they won't have a Zelda announcement before the end of the year. They probably will, but
Oh yeah, for sure. Sure.
So I don't know if we'll get a ton of stuff for the 40th, just because 40 is like an interesting number to celebrate as a company. Like birthdays, I get it. because it's like, oh, I'm 40, like another decade. But for a company specifically, it feels like an odd number. Like you think 25, 50. I mean, I guess they did 30 and 35 for Zelda.
30
but
and 35. See, here's my thing. I'm the opposite of you. They're going all out. Yeah, they're going to have Switch 2. They don't care. They know that they can sell anything they release. They're going to have T-shirts at Nintendo New York. They're going to have all the plushies. There's going to be 40th anniversary Legos. They're going to talk about how the 3D Mario or the Mario Kart or both, whatever come out, are all going to be part of the anniversary. Even they'll link the anniversary all the way into next year, and they'll say next year that the movie's part of the damn anniversary is what they'll say. Just because they can, just because it's happening. They'll drop Super Mario 40th, which I guess we already have a potential patent that I didn't see yet, suggesting that Super Mario 40 is going to come back, which would explain why they did the FOMO with 35, because they would have known back then they were going to bring it back for the 40th. So make people miss it for 5 years, so then they get really hyped when it comes back as Super Mario 40 on NSO. I think they're going to do a lot of different things, a lot of different merch. You're going to see stuff out at they're going to blow it out at the damn theme parks. They're going to go all out at the theme parks for it, for sure. Lots of merch, lots of parades and celebrations, crazy things they're going to do there. I think Nintendo's going to make a huge deal out of it. No, they're not just releasing nothing but Mario games all year, obviously. It feels like that's kind of what they've been doing for like the last year with the RPGs, all the Mario RPGs. Yeah. But I think Nintendo realizes they're a business. They like to make money. And the more they can push literally the front man of the business, which is Mario, the better for them. So they're going to do it. And I know like, oh, they didn't do it for Zelda. I'm like, that's fine. But Zelda is not Mario. Like we talk about how, oh man, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, man, look at those incredible sales. Yeah, that's cool. Mario Kart's at 70 million. What are we talking about? The Mario movie made like 1.2, 1.3 billion. Like, what are we like? That's just the box office. It was number one on Netflix for like 6 months.
Yeah.
like Mario is massive. I don't know if it's hit the Pokemon heights yet, but it's up there. Like they have really successfully turned, and like the Mario Legos are like the fastest selling Lego sets. By the way, guys, Mario Kart Lego sets are now available at stores.
Oh, is that a January 1st thing?
They're out. They're out right now.
Where? Wait, hold up. What?
I just saw John Nebo bought them today.
Ooh,
they're out.
I saw that too.
I didn't even know they had revealed them yet.
Mario
yeah, they're out. You can buy them right now.
Lego?
So my goodness, you can.
What?
Yeah, just throw that out there. The Mario Kart Lego already out there.
What?
Literally, calendar turned to today, but bam, Mario Lego's available.
Target?
Yeah.
Target?
I kind of want to get that standard cart just to put on my desk.
The standard cart looks good. Yeah, I know. I'm like, man, I kind of want to get that. Just throw it back here, like on the top of the fridge, because
wait, it says Baby
you
Mario.
Start taking down the Christmas decorations soon here, and we'll do winter decorations for a bit.
Baby Mario? It's only $20. How is that possible?
That's so like affordable. Whoa, rare Lego set being affordable. What?
Like a billion sets when you combine them all together, it adds up. But, anyways. So, look at people are finding all sorts of things today. People finding out you can get Kingdom Come Deliverance for free right now in the Epic Game Store. I saw someone in the chat being like, "Oh, dude, thanks. That's all I use my Epic account for. Is they're free games." I'm like, "Yeah, you're welcome."
Got a question, Nate. You have a?
You didn't even know the Mario Kart's available.
You got an affiliate link? You wanna?
Do I have an affiliate link? Where are you buying it from?
I'm buying it from Target.
I do not have Target affiliate links. No.
Is it on Best?
As I say, if Best Buy had it, I have
Target. I have a gift card for Target.
I get.
Yeah, but anyways, as people are trying to buy them right now. So I'm just kind of I think they're just gonna do everything. This is not Zelda, where the big Zelda games don't come out very often, and there's not a lot of spin-offs. Like we get a lot of the remakes and remasters, but outside of Hyrule Warriors and Cadence of Hyrule, there was like no other real spin-offs for Zelda the entire generation of Switch. So there isn't constant brand new Zelda smashing us in the face. And even those remakes and remasters are only selling like 3-4 million. It's not like, Mario Party selling 10 million plus for the third time this generation. It's not, Mario Kart, which isn't even a new one, doing 70 million. So I do think that they're going to go all out because it's Mario. I think other anniversaries, it's always like, will they, won't they? And even then, like the 35th anniversary of Zelda did get mentioned. And they did drop a Game & Watch for it. It was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But they technically mentioned it and did one little thing for it. So even the Zelda, in a year that they felt like they did nothing, they technically did something for the anniversary. Mario, they're going all out. And I think they're going to look at this as a double whammy because it's going to end with the Mario movie. That'll be the end of their Mario celebration, will be the movie. 'Cause that's in April. So not this year, guys, April 2026. So that'll be where they ended, is in April. I bet you they'll also remove Mario 40th around then. It'll be a temporary thing on NSO again because they'll bring it back for the 45th or bring it back for the 50th or something. But yeah, I think they're just going to go all out. I don't know why they wouldn't. Just, all it does is make them money. And you can go, damn, with Switch 2 coming out and all the games and all, like, how am I going to get everything? Yeah, you got to be rich. Welcome. You just got to accept you're not going to get everything. Like, unless you happen to have a ton of money, you got to. It's like me. You look at my set. This is cool decorations. There's not a lot of video game decorations. There's a reason. It's expensive. I want the Great Deku Tree. It's $300. It's $300.
I just bought a regular Lego and built it myself. You know,
Well, that's what I'm saying. And it's fine. Lego's always been expensive. So I'm not even complaining about the price because Lego was even really expensive when I was a kid. Star Wars Legos were insane. They're still insane. So I get it. It's always been expensive. But it's one of those things where you just got to pick and choose, guys. Like, I want to get some more gamer t-shirts, right? I'll get some 40th anniversary Mario shirts. I need to get more. Most of my gamer t-shirts are worn out. I only have like 3 left. And even this one, I ripped a hole in this shirt today. So this shirt's the last day I'm going to wear it. Well, I might. With it cutting off right here, maybe I can.
We can't see it, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With it cutting off right here, I guess
No one will ever know.
There's nothing wrong with being holy.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being holy.
yeah, I'm telling you.
So anyways, yeah, it's one of those things that I want to get some more gamer shit. I think there's going to be a lot of Mario 40th stuff. Let me throw it over to Mike Odyssey, who literally has a name after one of the Mario games. What are we doing? What are they doing?
For Mario?
Yeah, for the 40th anniversary. That's what the topic is.
So I think they're. I also think they're going all out. The Super Nintendo World opens in May here at Universal Epic Universe, and it's gonna be a huge thing with the parade and all that stuff. I did hear about a Mario 40th anniversary parade that's gonna be taking place in the park, which is pretty cool. And I agree with Nate. It's gonna go all the way over to next year because next year is the movie, guys. Next year the movie's coming out. We can say that finally. Next year,
got a date in
movie.
April. So like
Yeah, Mario movie is coming out next year. So expect Nintendo Directs Mario movie related this year, at least 2 to 3 of them. You know, them talking about the movie, maybe the cast kind of talking about the movie as well, introducing new cast. If we have
interviews out the wazoo with everyone all over again. We're gonna be on all the Tonight shows and everything else. Probably a Hot Ones episode. You know.
Yeah, we have new characters like Wario and Waluigi in the movie. Of course, their cast, their voice actors are gonna be, presented and stuff like that. People are gonna fight over it and be mad of it, and then get happy later.
Yep.
Mario, the Mario 40th online. I think it's gonna be a thing. Why would they release a patent today, like the first day of the year? Why would they just update that thing that they discontinued? Back in what 2020 was it that they did it? 2020?
Yeah. Very beginning of 2020.
Been 4 years already, So it just came out today. I think 3D Mario is going to be the launch title for Switch 2. I mean, it has to be. It's Mario. They kind of got away with not making Mario Odyssey the launch title for Nintendo Switch. I think Mario's gonna come around this year, especially when it's okay, you're launching a new system in the 40th year of your mascot character. You're not gonna launch it with Mario, So I think it's either that or Mario Kart. It's gonna be Mario, something Mario related. I think that's it. I don't see a lot more happening other than the movie, the theme parks, the directs, of course. New game, merchandise, t-shirts, toys, maybe like they'll do a what do you call this, the watch, the clock
Alarmo?
Alarmo little face, Mario on 40th anniversary face, and alarm thingy, like special kind of tune to wake you up.
Wake
Yeah.
me up before you go. Oh, sorry.
Classic.
So yeah, I think it's happening. I think it's gonna be big just because it's a Switch 2 launch year theme. But there's way too much going on in Nintendo right now that for them not to go big with it, especially when there's a movie around the corner. Also, I also think that this is not Mario related, but I also think that we're gonna hear a lot from Zelda movie this year. I think we're also gonna get directs from the Zelda movie this year. Cast, trailer at the end of the year.
Really?
Yep.
I feel like if they're gonna do Zelda, they might wait to do the trailer until closer to when the Mario movie comes out.
Yeah. Take a look
So
at
then it can hit it'll hit the theatrical run of the Mario movie, and then you can kind of snowball from there.
It would be
Yeah,
kind of cool if they had the Zelda reveal trailer be a pre Mario movie trailer.
yeah.
That would
Oh, and not do like a theater
like
release.
yeah.
Not a theater release, an online release. They did that with I think it was a Marvel movie did that. I think it was Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mhm.
One of the post-credit scenes was a trailer for Multiverse of Madness, and they didn't drop it online until like a week later.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd
So
be
all you had was these really bad phone
yeah,
grabs of it,
yeah.
or you went and saw the movie and you saw it. And I don't know, I could see him doing something like that.
That would be sick because that would also be using the Mario movie hype to build up hype for the Zelda movie.
Yep.
Which could
Yep.
springboard into Zelda's 40th. Thank you for coming to my
Yeah, there we go. See,
Yeah, you see.
it all connects, baby.
There you go. And they and not to mention that they also updated. I would say it was maybe last month. They updated the IMDb page with all of those shooting locations for the Legend of Zelda movie, which is pretty cool to see where they're shooting. Because I went and look. I looked at all the places. Man, the fields that they're going to be shooting at. There's even castles in some of these places. I'm not sure if they're going to. They're going to probably shoot at.
Yeah,
at
it's
specific
different
castles.
sections. Yeah, different.
Yeah,
sections.
and then maybe CGI like a big giant castle where they're supposed to be at, and then one for the more some of the shots they'll use real castles. But man, I'm excited. I think we're gonna hear a lot more from Zelda this year.
That's all I wanted from that movie was for them to go places and do like all of the
Uh,
practical stuff.
yeah, it sounds like they're going all out with it.
That's all I wanted.
I have the list right here. They're going to Los Angeles, California. They're gonna shoot on stage. They're going to Devon, England, in UK. So if you guys from the UK, guess what? Zelda is filming in your area. They're going to Baja, California Sul in Mexico. Okay. They're going to Baviera, Germany. And they're going to, of course, Kyoto, Japan. And they're going to Dublin, Ireland. Dublin, Ireland, they have gorgeous castles out there.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's a lot of castles in Ireland. Well, there's a ton of them out there.
So
Great,
it's exciting, man. It's exciting.
Sorry. Okay, back to Mario's 40th.
yeah.
Stash. Your topic, baby. Mario's 40th. What do you think they're doing?
So obviously there's just like so many things, and we can look at the past and look at what Nintendo's done. Obviously there's the Lego set, right? I have it, the NES Lego set.
Oh.
You can still buy it. It's not like dead stock. So I don't know if we get like a new NES Lego, but maybe there's like a 40th anniversary, like Mario edition, maybe something with Mario. Cause it's like they got the NES covered because we're talking NES 40th and Mario's.
Yeah.
Hallmark ornaments.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
I really look forward to these every year because
Right.
they're releasing the mini consoles that actually turn on and play music, and so I enjoy it because it's like that's our childhood.
Yeah.
And they already have an NES one, so I mean, I don't know what you do there, right? But I bet you they do something. Obviously the merch, yeah, I expect tons of it. Expect, tons of clothes, all that stuff that we always see. I do wonder if they will do any type of shoe deal again, like they did with Vans. Because I mentioned I got all those Nintendo Vans from back in the day, and that was really fun. I enjoyed getting those. They were a good deal back then. I'm sure they would be astronomical these days, but still, it would be cool to see them do something. Last year, Sony released some PlayStation shoes with Puma,
Oh, nice.
Yes, it did.
and they're badass. I have them. They're really cool.
Come on, man.
Hey, hey, man, but I love all video games. I love
I'm
them
like,
all, man.
I have
Hey,
them.
I didn't invite Stash to be on the show because he was Nintendo only. So he brings
I know.
all the
No, I'm like, I'm not saying it in the fact that it's PlayStation. Like, I'm saying it's like, you know those Nintendo shoes from back. Oh, I got them. Oh, you know, I got them. Like, come on, man. What don't you have?
like I know I can't see clearly, but his background is like Collector City. And this is like a microcosm of everything that he has.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I gotta ask you guys this. There's a couple scenarios. I probably know the answer to the first one, and just seeing as this is the first year for Switch 2, I don't expect a special edition NES Switch 2, but what about a Switch 1? That's a good way to get people to double dip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You mean a dip for Nintendo Switch 1?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, that's coming. For sure. I can see either two things coming. Two things. I can see either them bringing down the price for Nintendo Switch, OLED discontinuing the base model and leaving the light, and or just releasing a brand new system, more portable. Like you can dock it, kind of just to eliminate the light and the dock model and the OLED model, kind of like a Switch Lite OLED model with removable Joy-Cons.
So like a Switch Mini.
Yeah, something like that. I don't call it mini just because we have the light, and that wasn't that like the rumor name before the light came out, the mini.
Yeah.
But yeah, either them doing that, like you know how every system has always had the mini version of it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Game Boy Micro.
yeah, so have like the Nintendo Switch mini version, right, with removable Joy-Cons, OLED screen. So light people versions could be happy. People who like the dock also happy. They can reduce the price and just kind of, you know, sell a lot more, you know, like at least a couple more years.
Absolutely.
So I could see, like I said, the Switch 1, NES. But what about a Switch 2 Pro controller?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pro
Oh,
controller or even Joy-Con 2s.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say you could do Joy-Con, like themed
Because
Joy-Cons.
they did Mario Red Joy-Cons last time.
Yeah. Right? I think we could see either. I don't know if we'll see both, like maybe an NES edition Switch 1 and Joy-Cons for Switch 2 or a Pro controller, something like that.
Yeah.
I think we could probably see that. Like, I don't think we're going to see a, you know, like the Tears of the Kingdom edition Switch 1 Zelda.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see an NES edition, unfortunately, because it's the launch year. I just don't see that happening. Like I still have my Game Boy Advance SP
Yeah.
NES edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But if you look at something like that, that came out years after the SP was out.
Yeah.
Same with the Game Boy Micro. I got the Famicom 20th anniversary. That came out way later. I just don't see those coming out year one, but I think we could get some cool stuff still that's like hardware accessory related.
You know, I can see them breaking the mold just for once, kind of to celebrate Mario Kart being the all-time best-selling game on Nintendo Switch, and then that for the holiday season, them dropping that Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart edition, because you know how that rumor says that there's a big 9 happening.
Yeah, I can buy into that, Mike. I think it makes so much sense because that has been your holiday pack-in
Yeah.
game for years,
Exactly.
right? And it works. So you don't try and fix something that's not broken.
Mhm.
If anything, hey, let's make it better, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they would be doing if it was actually a like unique Switch 2 that had a custom dock and you know everything was custom on it. I think that would be really cool and it would be a huge hit. And again, collectors might double dip too.
Yeah.
All right, last one on this question for you guys. do we possibly get Super Mario Galaxy 2 HD for Switch 1 and the new 3D Mario on Switch 2? Nintendo says, "Hey, we don't want to we don't want Switch 1 owners to feel left out in Mario Celebration. So, we're giving Mario for both Switch 1 and Switch 2 owners."
Yeah,
I think that game's still coming. You
I'm
say
gonna go-
yes?
I'm going with yes.
I like the idea of it, right?
I'll go yes because I want to be optimistic. I've never played it. I've
Oh,
heard
it's
it's
so
good.
good. Dude, it's better. I think it's better than part
Played the
one.
first one, right?
I have played
Both
the
are
first one
amazing.
multiple times.
Yeah, both are amazing. Like, it's like having that classic, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom debate. It's like, hey, there really is no reason to debate because
Yeah.
they're both great. They're both amazing, right? Like, come on, man. Let's pick a different topic, right? Same thing here. Yeah, Galaxy 1 and 2, dude, they're so good. But for me, I got to go with 2 just because you got Yoshi in it, and it makes a difference.
It is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. I mean, Yoshi's on the cover.
Question. I did not play Mario Galaxy 1 because I think it's because of my eyesight. I got dizzy with all the changing the camera and like the
Understandable.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Around. Yeah.
I heard that Galaxy 2 is a little better on that. It's not as crazy as Galaxy 1 when it comes to the sphere. There's areas that appear more traditional to Mario 3D. Story wise, how beneficial is it for me to play Mario Odyssey 1 before playing
It's
2?
like the same story.
Same story.
It's a Mario game.
They basically copy pasted the story.
Okay, so it's the same exact story, just different.
No, I mean it's not exact. Like Mario aficionados will kill me for saying it's exact. It's not exact, but I basically borrowed the story from one.
Okay. I can play 2.
Yeah, I don't even remember, Mike. Yeah. I don't remember the story when it came out on Wii. I bought it right when it came out. It was one of those games that, despite working crazy hours, like I found the time. I made the time to play through it because it was really, really fun, and I played through it quickly. And now it's a very distant memory. The only core part that I still have with me is knowing that this game was so good, and the idea of a HD remaster is very exciting for me because I would love to jump back in because it would feel brand new.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Yoshi is not in that many Mario games.
He's not.
And he's in every one that he's in. It's like one of the best.
Yeah.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Yeah.
Great game.
Super Mario World.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely
Like
one of the best of all time.
Oh man. Anyways,
I
New
think
Super
Nintendo-
Mario Bros. U.
There's a black sheep in them all.
I like that. Watch Nintendo not drop Mario Galaxy 2 for the anniversary and just bring back 3D All Stars.
I swear, if they just re-release 3D All Stars with
There's
no,
no
just
way.
no.
What if they did and they
Nintendo-
added Galaxy 2 and then everyone who owns
Everyone
All-Stars,
everyone would be so pissed that they put
unless they
Galaxy
said
2.
you can access it digitally.
Even then they'd be pissed because they could
I'd
have
still buy it.
I'd be
I
pissed
don't
too.
trust that digital. I don't trust like that. I don't.
Oh,
I don't either. You guys know that.
I own it digital and I own I actually bought 4 copies of Mario All Stars. I gave 3 away and I can't find the 4th one somewhere in here.
I bought a few too. I gave one to my cousin. I'm like, don't open this if you don't have to. Unless you really want to play it, or just buy it digitally. Keep it sealed, man.
Yeah.
It'll be worth something someday.
Yeah.
Answer Taker 610 super chat question quick. He said, "What wasn't N64 the last to launch with a 3D Mario?"
Yeah. September 96.
So did no 3DS didn't launch with because they had Mario 64, but that wasn't at launch, was it?
Super Mario 64 3DS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was at launch because we had the thumb
Yeah.
attachment that you used as a
I was-
joystick.
I
I
think
remember
people-
buying
think
that at Best
people were
Buy.
launching 2 systems, but it wasn't as big a deal the second time around, obviously, because it was the same game.
Yeah, like
they didn't have what, Luigi? You could play as Luigi in that one?
as far as like a unique 3D Mario game, right? That's how I've always looked at it. Is I don't really count DS because it's the same
OG,
game.
yeah. Yeah, okay, I was
Yeah.
OG, yes, yeah. And then they had 3D wise, yeah. I think that's the last time because we didn't launch Wii with Hun. We didn't
No.
launch Wii U.
GameCube
We
launched for
launched-
Luigi's Mansion. Sunshine didn't come out
Wii U
till
was New Super Mario Bros. U, so yep.
till summer 2002.
There you go.
Man,
All
this is
right.
crazy.
All right. I think we gotta get to the big topic now. But before we do, someone has to leave. It's sad.
Yeah, I got work tomorrow.
I
Gotta
know.
go back. I've been off for like
Eli,
because of the way Christmas and New
goodbye.
Year's lines up. I've been off for like a week and a half. So I'm like, I gotta get ahead of the curve on sleep so I don't pass out at my desk tomorrow. So I will dip out for now. If you want to find my content, I make anime videos on YouTube at Nick with no K. I'm on Twitter talking about stuff and things at
Stuff and
Nerdiest
Those
Nick.
seven things are
Usually causing trouble if I choose to. And then I just started streaming on Twitch at Nick with no K. This week I'm doing Doom Eternal on Friday, and then I'm starting Genshin Impact on Saturday because I got to pay those bills. So I'm caving to the gotcha machine to hope that my analytics don't dip out too much. So
Gotcha machine.
that's where I will leave that. Thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure to talk Nintendo, and I will see you guys later.
Have a good night, Nick.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and show your love out here. That's smacking that bell. Smack it.
What? I don't. Okay, we're moving on.
The cliche. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and smack that bell. Go ahead and just smack it.
Who
You
are
say
you?
smack the bag?
The bell.
The bell. Who are you, Mike? I don't even.
I don't know.
I don't
It's
even
one
know.
of the characters that I made up. It's called YouTuber guy.
Okay, so we gotta get to our last topic here. This is the one that I think everyone in the audience has been waiting for, man. We got 360 plus on YouTube, just on my end. We got 500 plus on X, 600 plus on X. We got 15 plus over on Thunderstash. Everyone's waiting for the big topic, the Switch 2 topic, because like it's the year of Switch 2, everyone.
Mhm.
It just is. It's the year of flipping Switch 2. And literally on New Year's Eve night, we had the motherload of leaks. Look, we've had leaks. We have like rumors and leaks and like different things happen. You know, the biggest leak I would argue we've had to this point until this was we had that prototype leak. The prototype was kind of cool. You got to see some shells and stuff, but it was from October of 2023. The motherboard didn't have anything on it. Well, that all changed when this got posted over on the Nintendo Switch 2 Reddit.
Confirmed.
Oh,
You can play
man.
multiple games at the same time.
Switch 2 motherboard posted by user MHN1994. And then they just vanished. They didn't say anything. They haven't provided any additional context where these images came from.
And just took him down. He's gone.
Anyways, so these look pretty legit. It's nice we have a comparison here. They put the board on top of a Switch OLED, so you can see size comparison. Like, okay, it's going to be about that much taller. Okay. What's interesting is this is the biggest reason why people think this is real, outside of the fact that this looks very similar to the prototype board that we saw from October 2023, except just turned the opposite direction. Is this BEE CPU01. We know that this is actually the code name for the CPU because it's in the shipping documents. They are using this in the shipping documents to describe a component. So that matches up with the shipping documents. Now, people have looked. This is not AI made. This is not, photoshopped. As near as we could tell, it's a real photo. You can even see the guy with the cell phone taking the pic right here. It's an iPhone, by the way. He's doing it with. You can see the camera out there. He's doing it with an
A
iPhone.
better way to do it.
And what's cool about this is the person who did it, who clearly probably wasn't supposed to do it, cared to make sure the photos were in focus, everyone. Can we celebrate a leak where the photos are in focus?
And
Like, holy crud. Holy moly. Yes. Leaks are in focus. All right. So this is one side. This isn't the most exciting side. You see the one cartridge slot. All right. Very interesting. Some have said, "Oh, does that mean Switch 2 isn't physically backwards compatible with the Switch cartridge?" No.
It is.
It's the same slot, guys. Relax. Oh, what's that? Oh, the actual die is on the board? The chipsets are all on the board? Yes, folks.
Assembled.
It is assembled. This is something that would be inside your actual Nintendo Switch 2 if you took it apart. So we have our two modules here. These here to the left and right of the actual NVIDIA thing, that is the RAM. Those are two 6 gigabyte kits. You can, because of the numbers here, we can read them. If you look it up, this is a 6 gigabyte RAM module. So this is your 12 gigabytes of RAM. Cool. Matches shipping documents, matches all the rumors and reports, 12 gigs. Up here, you have some different controllers. One of them is a USB 2 controller that looks to be for the Joy-Con. So they might be using a USB 2.0 style connection, which is cool. Obviously, a custom built connection, but still, it's doing it through USB 2. It's all you really need, by the way. You don't really need more than USB 2 for that. So some people be like, well, why isn't it 3 or 3.1? Like, you don't really need it. We don't need 5 gigabyte per second speeds to communicate a controller, guys. just throw that out there. It's a little pointless. But then we have the chip itself. Now, the only thing we know 100% for certain about this chip, because now we have this and we have that size comparison and we have these other chips around it that are in other products. We have measurements and we can tell based on the numbers on here that this chip was made by Samsung, that they are the people who fabricated the T239 chip that we see here. Now, are the only company fabricating the T239s? That we don't know, but they are one of them fabricating the T239 chip. This chip here is the Switch 2. Like, when you talk about the power of the system, it's right here. 12 gigabytes of RAM and this chip. That is literally the brain, the brawn, everything for the system. All right, so we don't know. It does not say T239 anywhere on here. However, there are multiple parts that are blurred out. The thought process on why it's blurred here and why it's blurred there is that there's probably identifying information there where you could tell what factory it came from. So they're trying to like not get caught, basically. So there's identifiers there that could say where this was or where they came from. Nintendo could track it down. So that seems to be the general thought on why some of the stuff isn't there. Because if you ever took apart your own Switch and washed all the paste off and look at it, if you look up the certain numbers on there, you could figure out where it was made, where it came from, and where it was assembled. So there's identifying information there. So that seems to be why they scrubbed that out. So we don't see the T239 mentioned specifically, but whatever, because it could be under there. Now, that being said, this appears to be about a 200 millimeter by 2 chip size. What does that really mean? Not a whole lot. There's a lot of debate online if it's 8 nanometers or 5 nanometer Samsung process, because it's being compared to the Orin chip that this was based off of. The Orin is a self-driving car chip that's much larger, but it also has a lot of stuff on it for smart cars that you would not keep on the chip. So if you remove that, and that's an 8 nanometer chip, would this be 8 nanometers? I don't know. It's important to note that rumored that this is based on Ampere. Ampere's 2000 and 3000 series cards are also 8 nanometer. Now, why does it really matter if it's 8 nanometer or 5? I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter a whole lot. However, it's about power efficiency. The smaller the nanometer, the more power efficient it is, meaning you could clock it higher. So that is kind of the idea of why people want it to be 5 nanometer. But we don't really know. There's not really enough information to definitively say. I'm leaning that it is 5, but there is counter arguments to it to say that it's 8. So we don't know if it's 5 or 8. And I think most people aren't going to care the moment they reveal the system.
Yep.
Once it's revealed, we see the games. No one's going to give a shit if it's 5 or 8. But if it is 8, I will note this could mean we could see a die shrink in a future revision that could give us more battery life,
Mm.
stuff like that. So just kind of to remember that if it is 8, that does mean we'll probably have a revision at some point. That'll shrink it down, like a light version as an example.
Yeah.
We might want to shrunk and die for that. So that's what I'm going to note. If it is 4 or 5, then it's probably just going to stay that size the whole time. So yeah, it's still going to be a pretty powerful thing, but it's still that's kind of what we have. And I think there's one more image. This is where we get to see the cartridge inserted into it. This definitely looks like a Switch cartridge. And it's red going all the way down. Some people would try to guess what game it is.
It's Mario.
I've been throwing out Mario Odyssey because Mario Odyssey has an all red label. But I don't know. It's not like you know. It's not, he has a picture of the thing taken out. There's a whatever. But it definitely looks like a Switch cartridge, which I think the idea of that was to show, hey, it's got physical backwards compatibility with Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they were trying to show there.
Yeah.
This chip is a very similar one to one that's inside the Nintendo Switch as well. And again, if you go back, you see you got your 2 USB-C things, just like we've seen in all the prototypes and all the mock-ups and everything. Everything just looks super legit. So, first, do we think this is real? And then, is there anything about this that excites you or at least eases your mind on things? Or does it make you more concerned for the system? Let's go with Stash. What do you think?
Yeah, so it doesn't really change anything for me. What I'm excited about is that we're getting closer, and it's what we talk about every week. As the days go on, the leaks intensify, right? They become bigger. This is obviously bigger. So this is good because we're getting that much closer. Yeah, I will say the same thing that I've said, I think, my whole life, regardless of be it Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Xbox, TurboGrafx 16, Neo Geo, what other? Sega Saturn, Sega 32X, Sega CD, Neo Geo CD. What else we got? I'm missing so many.
Did you own all of those consoles?
No, but I played them
Probably
all. But
surprised if you did.
my point is that it's about the games.
Yep.
Period. Always. Now, look, what does get me excited? I would say that a lot of these stuff that we've been talking about for a long time is panning out.
Mhm.
It's accurate. And I knew it was. I knew
Stash. I'm just a clickbait YouTuber, though.
I know, and it's bullshit because I see those comments, and I've known, like when you get to be old enough, you just know. Intuition. If you trust your intuition, you trust your gut, use some logic and some common sense, which I've always said common sense is not so common today, sadly, but you put it all together, and this has made sense for a long time. And so I'm excited because everything you've been talking about, and Mike, things you've been talking about, because I was watching you guys before I was even doing YouTube. I'm excited to see it come to fruition. I'm excited about the RAM. That's exciting.
12 gigs.
12 gigs is exciting.
More than Series S.
Yeah. Now, some people were talking about how it's comparable to the 3000 series. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I have a 3080 Ti that I got a couple years ago. It's been great. I don't have any issues with anything. Everything looks great. If it's anything like that,
Well, probably quite that high end.
yeah. But
I
you
mean,
know what I'm
that's
saying? Like,
pretty high end 3000 series card.
yeah, but the point is I've never experienced any issues. I saw your tweet about the PS4 screenshots that you posted. And
Yeah.
again, for real though, like PS4 games look excellent. I've thought this for a long time, and Nintendo said this years ago about diminishing returns, and that there's going to come a point where that's what we reach, right? And have we reached it yet? Graphically, I'm not here to debate about how someone's hair looks in a game. I know that was a big hot topic on Twitter earlier this year.
Oh,
Can I
geez.
see it? Yes, I can see it. I'm not blind to it. Do I need it? The answer is no. I don't need it. Okay. I just don't. But I can see it and I appreciate it. That's great. If that makes you happy, great. I think really where we're at in video games as a whole is frame rate. I think that's the sticking point, really, because games look great. They really do. So many games look great. It's really about the 30 to 60 FPS debate. That's what it seems like is a real sticking point.
Yep.
But based on everything I've seen here, guys, like nothing's changed for me in that I've seen some of the posts on Twitter, the Doom post. I saw them last night and I'm like, oh man, this is irresponsible. I'm like reading this in bed, showing my girlfriend. All right, babe, look at this stuff here. Like this, I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm like, this person should not be saying this.
Mhm.
This is not good for the internet. It's not good for the health of people. And obviously there was some backlash there today, but I think everything looks fine. I think the games are going to look great. I think the performance is going to be great. I think the biggest thing, guys, and we've talked about this a million times, is what does the jump from Switch 1 to Switch 2 look like? Okay. Not looking at everything on the outside. How big of a jump is this for Switch 1 to Switch 2? And it's massive.
Huge.
Massive, dude. And I will say I never upgraded to PS4 Pro. So I had my base PS4 up until PS5 came out. And I was very happy with the PS4. A lot of great times with it. Again, it's all about the games. And Nintendo's got the games. And they're going to work magic with this machine. That's the thing that I probably talked about at the beginning of the year. Was about the wizardry at Nintendo, at Retro Studios, at Monolith.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, dude,
Mm.
good times are ahead. I see nothing but positivity out of this. Fault me for being
Nintendo.
positive, but man, I'm excited, dude.
Nintendo's best games are going to be so great on this thing.
Yeah, it's
Oh
going to
my
look
God.
amazing. I mean, here's the thing. Like, people talk about Wind Waker all the time and how great it's aged, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at games like Super Mario Galaxy HD on Switch. God, it looks good. And God, is a pop on the OLED. I play that on my projector, blown up on 150. Looks fantastic. Okay. So that game came out in 2007. And that's just a HD upres, right? They didn't do too much to the game. It's not a remake. It's a light remaster, I would call it. So, dude, to see what they can do with that kind of power, I think people are underestimating. That's where I'm at with all this.
Okay. Mike.
Yes.
That's it, just yes.
So I'm excited because not only first thing I'm looking at the board, yeah, it not confirms, but it actually another thing that points to us having 8-inch screen 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 on Switch thingy, which is better for me, bigger screen, better. I know it's if it's backwards compatible, it's gonna be both. They're probably gonna have like a little thing that doesn't allow Nintendo Switch games, or maybe it'll just be the same as that cartridge. Just when you put your Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge on a Nintendo Switch, it'll say wrong cartridge. It'll give you an error message. It won't even read it. Right? They can do that. But I am with Stash on everything you said about the games, about the next Mario, next Zelda, just about the next iteration of video games that we love, man. I can't wait to see what the system can do. It is an upgrade to Nintendo Switch, which is what's important. I know it's the form factor is the same, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's boring," but it's just, hey, it is what it is. Nintendo finally, finally, I know this is cliche because everybody's saying it. They finally perfected the form factor they've been working on since 40 years now. Since the NES came out, and so for the first time we have a system, that it promises to give us great performances. People really underestimate. They keep saying, "Oh, PS4." What in 2013 was it that it came out? PS4, 2014 around that area, 2020.
2013.
Yeah, and I'm like, that technology advances is not cyclical. Technology advances. We get new technology almost every month, I guess now, right? So let's say that we do get the power of the PlayStation 4, which by the way, video games look amazing. Okay.
The PS4 games look great.
Yeah. And let's go ahead and change little parts here for newer technology. Let's take that hard drive, that little big giant disk hard drive that we used to have back in the day, this big thing here, right? Remember, from that, we went to SSD, right? And then we went even smaller to M.2 drives, which is what we have now. First thing, there was two versions of SSD, and now we have the M.2 drives that are just what we have now. And now there's even a smaller one that's faster, with the cards that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox have, like they're super expensive.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch is probably going to have their very own SD card, which is rumored to have the newer
the Express ones. Yeah,
the extreme ones. And so just with the hard drive by itself, it's going to be a lot faster. It's going to the read speeds on the loading times are going to be almost gone. Just with that, I'm not even going into the CPU, whatever. I'm going into the hard drive where you store your video games. When you press play, by the time it opens, it's going to be nothing, the wait, right? And this has to do with the reading speeds on your hard drive, on your SSD, on your M.2. So just with that alone, and then not to mention all the other things that Nintendo is doing with this DLSS 3.1 thing, it is, right? AI upscaling, all that stuff. It's like Nintendo is taking a shortcut. Okay, they're being smart. They're taking a shortcut, right, to get the visuals close to PS5, right? But with the hardware that they have. Because and I know it's easy to say, yeah, it's PS4, but you cannot rule out what's happening. Like we just got a patent the other day. Last night to today, or was it this morning? I don't remember. About the AI upscaling on Nintendo's side, right? This doesn't even mention the Nvidia part. It mentions Nintendo's own software, AI using upscaling the resolution. So they've been working on it, and I'm guessing they're going to have a combination of what they have combined with DLSS from Nvidia, and to produce an image that we're like, wait a minute, how is this system doing this?
I just want to say I brought this up probably one of the first times I was ever on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, you remember this? I talked about this a lot. Everyone's like, not everyone, but a lot of people are like, that ain't gonna happen. But it's like, you don't understand DLSS, the power behind it. Like, it's so impressive. And if you've seen some of the things I've seen that can run on PC that aren't I guess you could say sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane what people are able to do that are not game developers.
Yeah.
Not to say they're not talented. And I've said this a million times because clearly they're very talented, much more than I am. I don't know how to do any of that. I'm impressed by what they can do, but it's like, now put that in the hands of Nintendo, of retro. Like, what are they going to be able to do with some of their older games? And again, we saw this in the code. There's games that have that, right? Paper Mario, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hyped about this. I was so excited to hear about this DLSS stuff. And I think this leads back into its code name.
Yeah.
I always, I mentioned that also on the podcast. I think it I don't think it's Ounce. I think it's Oz. I really do. It's about the wizardry that DLSS is going to do.
The magic. Yeah.
It's magic.
That makes sense. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. But yeah, it's like Nintendo is taking a shortcut because weren't the developers saying that we were gonna be impressed with what we see, the visuals? You have to understand that if there is a company out there who knows how to get the best out of one system that is perceived underpowered is Nintendo right now, right? They're waiting. It's like PS5 has been around for 5 years now already. PlayStation Series X, how many years now? 5 years?
So PS5 will be 5 years in November. So
November.
yeah, just
So we just crossed 4 years.
Yeah. So Nintendo waits. They take their time. They wait to make sure that the parts they buy are a little cheaper, so just so they can save us money. And then they wait for newer technology so they can find a way around it, so that all the power is not always hardware wise, right? We have AI. AI is taking the world. Guess what, guys? You and me, one day gonna be enslaved by AI. Fortunately, gonna play video games in our heads. We're gonna be zombies one day with AI and stuff. But AI, AI is getting pretty powerful and pretty scary. So a lot of the power you're gonna find out on Nintendo Switch. AI upscaling. It's like a little brain in there doing stuff.
Well, so the big thing for me, and this is why I think almost everyone who doesn't pay attention is underestimating the DLSS on the system. And yes, it's not the most powerful DLSS out there. We know this, right? We know about GPUs and on computers and stuff, right? I have a 4080 Super over here. Use DLSS on my games all the time. Why wouldn't I go with the higher frame rates? Come on now. But the thing is, not every game supports it because DLSS is hardware based. It has dedicated cores in the hardware for it. But what people don't understand is, well, why aren't you using it in every game? You can't just turn it on for every game. Games have to be built for it. Mm-hmm. What's the problem with DLSS adaptation? Well, there's such a wide variance of people with hardware that FSR becomes easier because it's software based and works on any GPU. So there are games that have FSR options that don't have DLSS options because FSR will work on everything. So why am I bringing this up? The Nintendo Switch 2 will be the first dedicated gaming platform that every single one of them has DLSS. And developers know that. So when they make games for it, they will be making it specifically to take advantage of DLSS. And because of that, DLSS on Switch 2 might start to look like literal wizardry, just because we've not had a platform where they specifically are targeting using it on every game all the time, optimizing for it all the time. When they optimize for PC, if they do DLSS, it's sometimes just an afterthought. It ain't an afterthought on Switch 2. Everyone's going to want to use it at every chance they can, and you can go, why would they? Guys, render at 540p, have it look like crisp 1080p. Do you know how much rendering savings that is on the GPU that they can now put that into more assets and more graphical things on your screen? Massive. It's huge. It's massive savings to not have to push resolution in that way. So resolution is a huge hit on the GPU. But with dedicated cores being able to upscale, huge. And it doesn't just affect that. It gives you more frame rates. Now, some of it comes at a cost. It's not free. Absolutely, it's not completely free. There are some aspects to some of the things it does. It might add a little latency, might add a little ghosting in some aspects. But in general, all of that is in games that weren't made specifically for NVIDIA hardware. They were made for a broader spectrum of hardware. All those handheld PCs you guys see out there, it's all AMD. It's all AMD stuff. This is the only one with dedicated NVIDIA. So I'm telling you right now, it's going to feel like magic once everyone starts. I mean, Nintendo's going to do magic with it, period. This is just a given. When has Nintendo not done magic with their hardware? It's just what they do.
Yep.
Guys, think about this. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on Switch. Amazing. You know that game was on Wii? It's a Wii game. They were doing that shit on Wii. I know, yeah, it's prettier on Switch, of course, but That entire base game was on the Wii. This is what Nintendo does. They do magic with their hardware. So like Nintendo's games are going to be absolutely incredible and leading the way. And then you just hope the third parties obviously dedicate the resources to properly take advantage of the hardware. That's always been an issue, by the way, with third parties on every platform. They don't really always do a good job taking advantage of the hardware, but for some reason, like on Switch, all those impossible ports, right?
Yeah.
They had to dedicate a lot of time and resources to figure out how to squeeze every ounce of power out of Switch to run Doom Eternal at 30 FPS. Cool. Now they get to do it again, but this time with much more power. I think I think the third parties, the AAA ones that really truly believe that Switch 2 could be a seller for their game, they're going to put in the time. And I can tell you right now, Square Enix, when you're bringing Final Fantasy VII over, if you ain't putting in the time to properly optimize that, you are shooting yourself in the fucking foot. That's millions in sales.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
shooting your foot if you fuck that up. Put the time in. So like, and the thing is, I think all these companies are going to find out, guys, we have to realize with this power of the platform and why it matters. And oh, well, it's not as powerful as a PS5. No, it doesn't need to be. Because guess what? Nintendo's the market leader. Whether you want to admit it or not, they are the market leader in the console space. Obviously, PC overall, but in the console space, Nintendo's the market leader. And if they come shooting out the gate with 20 mil in the first year with Switch 2, they're going to be right back to topping PS5 and everyone else within a couple of years. So you gotta get in on that. You gotta dedicate to that. You gotta be there. Xbox isn't probably making a massive comeback. You got to get in there. You want to be ground like day one on Switch 2 to build that audience. Call of Duty is coming. We already know that. 10-year contract. Guaranteed. Call of Duty's coming to Switch 2. You imagine that it's actually a really fucking good version of Call of Duty? That it's 60 FPS. It just looks and feels amazing? Dude, yeah. DLSS all the way, baby. Heck, that might even be how they get 60 FPS. They use DLSS just up the frame rate. So I'm so excited for what this means. Obviously, in this case, we're just talking about these little motherboard leaks that just kind of give us an idea of the specs and confirm some things, which is really cool. We still don't know clock speeds and all the overall performance metrics, but that's just one aspect of all these leaks. Because holy crap, guys, there's more stuff. This is something I'm actually really interested in because we have some examples of some things. Because Genki, these son of a bitches. I got another screen to share with you guys. Oh my gosh, Genki. We're not on the Genki website, guys. We're on the CES website. All right, CES happening right here, January 7th to January 10th. That's next week. CES. It is a technology conference, basically. They're going to have a booth, right? Genki. All right. First exciting thing. Gaming accessories. This is what they're going to have. This is what they're presenting. Gaming accessories for the Nintendo Switch 2. Steam Deck and ROG Ally. Obviously, of those three, Switch 2 is going to get the most attention. They're the only company at CES that has accessories. So they're going to be showing actual accessories for Switch 2, not just renders and pictures online. They're going to have physical Switch 2 custom-made accessories there to look at. Okay, that's exciting. But we're not done. Because they have a scheduled event on Tuesday, January 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 4 hours. What are they doing? We will be featured at the entrance to Eureka Park, which is the entrance into CES. For 4 hours, you get to meet the team at Genki, the most crowd-funded game hardware brand at Kickstarter ever. And we'll be sharing products we've just finished crowdfunding, as well as a peek at what's next. Now, here's the last line. Happy to discuss any Switch 2 info we may have, as well as the stuff we're making for it. You know they're going to be spending 4 fucking hours talking about Switch 2 and answering questions about Switch 2. People ain't going to leave them the fuck alone about Switch 2. It's going to be a nonstop line of people and probably asking the same damn question over and over about Nintendo Switch. Now, here's the thing. It's important to know Genki is obviously not an official partner of Nintendo. They wouldn't be able to do this otherwise. They'd be under NDAs. They're not under NDAs. So the information that they have, I don't know that it's going to be much different than we've already heard publicly. Because like D-Brand obviously put stuff out there as well. But did D-Brand tell us everything they know?
Mm-hmm.
Or do they hold some stuff back? We don't know. So if there's stuff being held back, it sounds like Genki don't give a fuck. Whatever they know about Switch 2, they're just dropping everything. This has also made people wonder, hey, that January 8th rumor on a Switch 2 reveal. Does Genki feel so bold because they think the Switch 2 is about to be revealed while they're showing off accessories? It's pretty crazy. So, Thunderstash, let's go to you because you have a lot of experience with Genki.
Yeah, I do. So, and I actually have a story to tell that I never got to share about Genki. And it was because, well, one, I don't do news and rumors.
Yeah.
On my YouTube. Just like you guys do the news, but not really reviews. It's really hard to do it all. Very, very hard. I wouldn't. So, it's not something I'm going to try and do. But I will say this. So last year, the only one who knows this is my lady. And I told her about it earlier today. I'm like, hey, do you remember when I said this like a year ago? And I was like, well, get this. And so now you guys get to hear it. So Genki is real big on Kickstarter, right? Like all their stuff's on Kickstarter. They don't just sell it. They go through Kickstarter. And I got a gaming laptop, but it was really so I could also record game footage, right? Capture video game footage because I can hook up my PS5 to it, my Switch, all that. And I wanted to maybe try something new. I use Elgato on my PC and I like it, but I like Genki. I do. I respect them and I wanted to give them a chance. And I saw the Shadowcast 2 Pro, and that was, I think, the second product I bought from them. But here's where it gets interesting to me. And again, intuition was like, something's up here. And so I remember them sending out an email saying there was a slight delay on the Shadowcast 2 Pro. Again, this is last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they said the reason why is because they wanted to improve the specs so they could make sure that it can take full advantage of essentially a certain system that's supposed to be coming out. And the way they worded it, I immediately knew, oh, this is awesome. Like, please delay it. Yeah. Like, I'm looking forward to it coming in, but you're getting it prepared for Switch 2. Like, you're improving the specs on it. And they wanted to improve the resolution. And I remember specifically, and again, excuse me for not looking for the email. And I don't know if I'll be able to find it. And I don't know if it was a tweet, but I 100% know. And like I said, my lady remembers this, but they wanted to make sure it could handle 1440p at 60 FPS. That was like something they didn't have, and it was something else. But again, it was so a certain console that's set to be coming out can be fully functional with this product. They were future proofing it, is what they were saying, for an upcoming console. And again, we all think that Switch 2 was coming out last year? I did. I mean, obviously, as the year went on, I didn't. When I saw those games that were going to be coming out. But when I say last year, I mean, I'm talking 2023. Okay, so outside of that with Genki, I will say, if you're not familiar with them, they are super legit. I have two items I just got from them that I had got on Kickstarter. So the first one's a turbocharger, and this is a pocketable 100 watt flat wall charger, dual USB-C, And again, I kind of thought about getting this just for the portable consoles, right? Like I
Mhm.
got the Retroid Pocket, now I got the Switch.
Mhm.
And if you guys notice the box art, Sega Master System.
Mhm.
You're
Oh yeah.
totally right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, oh, you guys, this is great. They're gamers, so like their products are made for us, right? And they're actual gamers, so they get it. And then I got this controller. This is the 8-Bito Genki collaboration. So again, if you know 8-Bito, when it comes to new retro products, if you want to get a new NES controller, a wireless one, which obviously we did not have that tech back in the day, Super Nintendo controller, N64. I have the Analog 3D, aka the Analog 64 pre-ordered. I have a Nintendo 64 controller. It works. But you know what? 8-Bit was putting out their version of a 64 controller. So say, you know what? I'll get it because I want to see. But this is the controller here, and it's sick. I love the colors.
Yeah.
This is the SN30 Pocket Pro Edition. And again, this is going to work with Switch 2. It's future proofed. It's going to work with, actually, it's going to work with anything. I can use this on my PS5. I can use this on my Switch. I use this on my PC. Doesn't matter. So if you haven't heard of Genki, this is why I bring it up. If you haven't heard of them, they are legit. They're high quality. I actually really like this company. And it's similar to like D brand, because when that happened, right, I saw a lot of people on the internet saying, who's D brand? It's like, wait, you don't know who D brand is?
They're
D
huge.
brand's legit. You guys don't know about their dispute that they had with Sony? Like that was a big deal. Right? I mean, that was
Those
everywhere.
side
But
plates. Oh man.
yeah. They're not afraid to, you know,
Poke the
try
ball.
and yeah, exactly. So I think D brand and Genki are kind of similar, maybe in that sense. Not so much as like poking the bear, but a lot of talk has been said about both of these companies not being under NDA. I think you mentioned that as well, Nate.
Yep.
And I believe it. I totally believe it. I don't think they're official like partners or
Nope.
anything like that.
Yeah, look at people like Power A, like those are officially licensed partners.
Yeah, and like for example, like this controller that again, I'm gonna open up and do a review on. Looking forward to using it. I bought this for Switch 2, also because I know and trust that if the Switch 2 comes out, Nintendo puts out a new system update, and suddenly this stops working, which obviously things like that happen when you're not an official accessory maker. I'm confident that Genki will do something in their software to make sure it works. That's how much I trust them. So I have nothing but good things to say about them. So the fact that they're going to be at CES, which again, Nate, I brought this up to you earlier today. I'm like, Nate, do you remember last week I was talking about CES and how excited I was? But also from a tech standpoint, I love tech. Nate, I know you love tech. Mike, you worked in tech. I know you love it. We all love it. I love CES. We don't have E3 anymore. We have
No.
Summer Game Fest. That is cool. IGN has their summer games. It's cool. Like I like it. I appreciate both of them doing that. But E3 was really, really special. The trade show aspect of it is cool. But we still have CES, right? And that's the thing, is that we get to see all this cool new tech, and gaming companies go there. So I'm excited. Like I said last week, I'm excited to see if any third-party accessory makers are going to be there. And then we start talking about NVIDIA. Like, I wonder if they're going to be doing a keynote or something.
Yeah.
And again, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they are, right? They're having a
6th, I think. It's the day before the 7th.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I don't know. What do you think they're going to show or talk about at CES?
Being Genki?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're gonna have grips. for sure. There'll be some sort of grip, some cases.
Chargers.
I'm sure
They just came out with something really interesting. I didn't buy it. It was part of the last Kickstarter. So it was 3 products. The 2 I showed you guys. The other one I didn't buy because like I don't have a Steam Deck. I have no like use for it. But part of me was like, man, I wonder if this is going to be compatible with Switch too. And if it is, this would be interesting. But it's like a portable SSD that you literally plug into the USB.
Sure.
You know, like it could be plugged into that top USB slot on the Switch too, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting.
They do have SSD that I've seen that had like little the USB-C connector. So you just gonna plug it in.
Yeah, Genki's got all sorts of stuff.
They do. Like they make cool products that seem to be like useful. I feel like when they brainstorm together and they're thinking about what they're going to be making, what they're going to work on, it's all stuff where they said, hey, if we had this, it would make my life easier. And I feel like if it would make mine easier, other people probably feel the same way.
Yeah, I think the first time I heard of them was they created a Bluetooth adapter for audio, I think for Switch way back in the day. We didn't have Bluetooth. We didn't have Bluetooth headphones for like years. It wasn't supported.
Yeah, I have that actually.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think I actually have that. That Genki is in a bucket over here somewhere. I think
Yeah.
So I found that product. It's called Save Point, and you have to excuse me because I didn't say it completely correctly. It's a mini SSD enclosure case made for handheld use, 10 gigabyte speeds, and up to 2 terabytes of storage, built-in 100-watt pass-through charging, protective capacitor, MagSafe, and it says beautiful heatsink. So, yeah, you could have your the M2. I think if it's an M2 SSD.
Yeah.
Pop it into the enclosure. Plug it in to your Switch 2. Like I'm pretty sure this is going to work with Switch 2.
yeah.
But again, I'm not for certain because like here's the thing. When, for instance, when PS5 came out, I was waiting. A lot of people were waiting for them to make an announcement about what M.2 SSDs were going to be compatible with the PS5 because they had to go in and do some under the hood updates for us in order to make that a thing. Like you could put in an SSD into your PS5 like the first year, I think, and it won't even recognize it. So I don't want to like buy something like this and then the Switch doesn't even recognize it, the Switch 2. But I think this is something to keep an eye on. Like in the back of your mind, like, hey, this could be an option down the road.
Sure.
It's pretty cool.
This is the M.2.
M.2,
Yep. I just installed one of those in my Atari.
Yeah, and
VCS.
then you can buy the adapter, like a little adapter here.
Yeah. Which one do you got? The one from looks like the same one I bought.
Yeah, from Amazon.
In order to get Windows on my Atari, bootable. Yeah. Yep. I use the same thing, man.
Yeah,
it's clutch.
Anybody who's
this
looking
would be
for
useful.
something to make the computer run faster, this is it.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, look, Genki, they'll have I think a lot of the stuff they're going to show is kind of like a standard fare of accessories. But what'll be interesting about the standard fare is it'll be the first time that people will be able to go hands on instead of it just being a render. Like I think they're going to have prototypes there. The people,
the Switch.
No. Well, they could have prototypes of the Switch too, but not like real ones, like 3D prints. They could.
Right. I gotta go, man.
I can see them having like a print because you gotta remember like there are prints that accessory makers have been making. So I can see them there with like printed fake models and then they put it in their accessories so that people can go hands on with their accessories and stuff.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing, and there'll be a lot of pictures and videos of all that. It'll hit the internet pretty quick. I'm most curious about what they're gonna say because it feels like they're willing to just spill the beans on anything they've heard about Switch 2. And I'm curious if there's more that they've heard than what's been already stated publicly by all the other people. You know, like if they've actually heard, as an example, what the C button does. Have they heard? You know what I mean? Like, you know, trying to get some more information about some of this stuff. And maybe they've heard nothing. And all they did was get a file that, like D-Brand said, a scan, and that's it. And they don't actually know anything. Or maybe they do now, because now we're getting motherboard pictures put out there, meaning people at the factories might be a bit more loose-lipped at the moment.
Yep.
We could be having some loose lips going on, so maybe they know more. Gotta remember, a lot of these companies use the same damn factories to make their shit. So maybe they know more. You know, it's one of those things we don't know. What I do find really cool, though, and I got, like, Mike Odyssey's the one who turned me on to this last night. Not literally turned me on. Mind all the gutter guys.
Oh, nice.
And it made its way over to Nintendo Life. So I'm going to show Nintendo Life quick. And no, not the support us for 333 thing. Ad block doesn't work right now. New patent seemingly confirms NVIDIA 4K AI upscale for Switch 2. Kind of weird because it doesn't say 4K in the patent, but it's kind of just assumed that it's all kind of the same thing. And Laura Kate Dale talked about it as well. And basically, Mike obviously put a lot of the details of the patent out there. Looking at patents can be a little boring. There's only like one image in it that I think is even cool, and that's when they show like the little tiny image, and then they show it a little bit bigger, and it's kept the detail. I'm like, okay, cool. It's upscaling. It's AI upscaling, neural network stuff. That's all AI. And so
did they credit somebody else for the patent? I'm gonna kick their butt.
Yeah, they credit Laura K. Dale.
They did. I read it too, and I'm like, I was like cussing under my breath, like, why?
What's they always do that. They always do that. What's the Nintendo what?
Nintendo Life.
Nintendo Life? I got my eye on you. My people will be in contact with your people. You heard me? Nintendo Life? It's about to be Nintendo Oof.
For those who think he's serious, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Better credit.
We can't we don't own patents, they're public.
My people.
Anyone can post the patents. That being said, I found out about the patent from Mike Odyssey's tweet last night. And it's not a shocker. Like, they've had other AI patents like get published in the past. This is just the most recent one, and it was like from summer of 23, and it got published now. Is it published now because the system was supposed to be out already? There's some thoughts that, like, hey, patent's coming out now. Remember, the system might have supposed to come out like months ago, potentially, originally. And so these patents are now coming out now because the device is supposed to already be out. It's not, there's nothing like super shocking in the patent. I went through it. It's upscaling. Now, Mike obviously proposed the idea. Do you want to throw that idea out there about the upgrades? That you don't know your own idea?
Who said anything about taking down Nintendo Life from the inside? What?
Funny thing is, I know someone who works there. Close personal friend of mine.
I got to weigh in.
Got to weigh in.
I'm gonna have my own version of what do they call that? The Squid Games.
Squid Games. Season 2 out now. It's pretty good.
Yeah, season 3. So what is it that you wanted to ask about?
Well, I was trying to transition to you getting the talk here, but then, like, you went into your Squid Games analogy. What I was saying is you kind of proposed the idea yesterday, on this patent potentially having to do with something with Switch games on Switch 2.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you present that to the audience? What's this idea of yours? Or your interpretation?
So you mean like how I translated the patent?
Yeah, your thoughts on the patent, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so I think this is Nintendo's way of basically future-proofing every Nintendo Switch game moving forward for Switch 2. So they basically enhance games using some kind of resolution transformation thing that makes the images more clear. Like Nate said earlier, there are some games that run at 540. People like 540, that doesn't exist. Yeah, it does. Some of the games
running at 540p. Okay,
yeah,
less than 540p.
Exactly. So imagine those games actually running at a really crisp 1080p. And so this is exactly what the patent describes. All I did was kind of translated everything that the patent inside the patent. I put it in English, in plain English.
Yeah,
And it's
the
all AI.
540 you're bringing up is specifically mentioned in the patent. It specifically says 540 to 1080. It doesn't say only, but that's like
Yeah.
a specific one they actually bring up.
Yeah, and it says Switch images of 540 resolution can be transformed into a crisp, clear 1080 image or beyond.
Yeah.
So that beyond, of course, it has
Or
to be,
beyond.
yeah,
Yeah.
2K, 4K, and it's all AI driven. So I'm
So-
on board that this is how Nintendo is going to deal with Nintendo Switch games in particular, right? I think that
So-
they're working on
have a thought.
enhancing. Say again?
Yeah, I have a thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was reading the patent. I didn't read all of it. It has so many fucking pages. But I read a pretty good amount. I've tried using AI summaries. Sometimes they're wrong. I had the AI summary tell me something that literally I'm like, that's in the patent.
Use
Copy
my
paste.
next summary.
I search into the patent, and that wording's not even in the patent. I'm like, okay, well, we're not doing that then.
Use
That
the
being
Odyssey
said,
summary.
AI, I just don't trust AI summaries. But I was reading part of the patent, and it came to my mind, like, because your tweet, is heavily suggests this idea of upgrading Switch games, and because we don't have this confirmed from Nintendo that Switch games will be upgraded on Switch 2. We just kind of assume it will be, and the ones we've talked about so far are the ones that require patches. Because to use DLSS directly, you would have to patch games.
Yeah.
But what was interesting when I was reading this patent is it's not hardware based.
Nope.
So this patent was actually for a software based upscale only, not frame rate increase, but upscale only. So that's what made me start to think maybe for people who don't want to patch their games, they're just going to look better on Switch 2 because they'll just automatically upscale. And you might go, those are the what that can happen? Yes, automatic upscaling can happen via software without developers involved, like developers in each individual game. And that could be what this was. This might actually be the proof that no matter what, Switch 1 games will at least look better on Switch 2 because they will be automatically upscaled through a different method than DLSS. Because again, Switch 1 games don't need the full power of the Switch 2, so there'll be plenty of headroom on the Switch 2's components to easily handle automatic upscaling. And you might go, well, what do you mean? Did you know your TV literally automatically upscales?
Yeah. It does.
It does a pretty shitty fucking job of it. Most TVs do a super shitty job of upscaling, but they do technically automatically. This is a 4K TV behind me. When I'm watching cable TV, all the channels are 1080p, but it tries to upscale it into 4K. Again, doesn't do a great job because most TVs don't do great jobs at that, but they do it. So imagine Nintendo custom built a software-based like FSR style solution through a neural engine to automatically increase the resolution of all your Switch games. Now, again, that's not the improvements everyone wants. When we've heard about like the Breath of the Wild demo, we were hearing about ray tracing being tossed in. We were hearing about faster loading times. We were hearing about, higher frame rate, 60. Yeah, that stuff requires a patch. That's not like, that's just, but this patent may have just been like, hey, we have a basic upscale applied to every Switch 1 game you put in here.
Yeah, that's what got me excited.
And the cool thing about this is that it's AI, so it's constantly learning, and Nintendo's can constantly improve the AI to reach even higher resolutions. The cool thing about this is that developers can bring their games as is to Nintendo Switch 2, and the AI will automatically upscale these games to higher resolution, giving you better graphics, better a better overall look, right? So it takes the load off developers, and just the AI will do it for them. And it's something that's constantly learning, and it's a future-proof thing. For example, like this patent essentially promises a future. I wrote the last thing says this patent essentially promises a future where games can grow with technology, where your investment in games isn't tied to limitations of the console or hardware at release, can involve with advancements in AI and hardware capability. So your game, if you bought a Nintendo Switch game, Mario Odyssey, when you bought it back in 2017, and on Nintendo Switch 2, day one, if they kind of use this type of technology, day one, your game will look 10 times better. 10 times better than it did on Nintendo Switch, and give you an overall better
Imagine not
experience.
having to buy HD versions of games because it's just, or 4K versions because it just puts it in 4K for you.
Dude, can you imagine if that's one of the features they
But-
promote the most?
That's what I was saying on the podcast throughout the years, that I think that is going to be the big selling point, because what else is going to be? All the other stuff is just bigger and better, which is great, right? But we need a real selling point, not a gimmick, right? And I don't think we're going to get anything gimmicky. I think we're all in
Yeah.
agreement there, but I think this could
Maybe a
really be like the big selling point, right?
Yeah.
That would be huge. And I know I had mentioned, and again, I don't know how likely this part is, but God, I mean, just the idea of NSO taking advantage of this. You know what I mean? Like, again, I don't know
Yeah.
how likely something like that is, but maybe, who knows? Maybe they have a higher tier program. But if you look at all these Switch 1 games, like, as long as they continue to package them and put them on store shelves, they all become extremely evergreen if this happens. So it might seem like a costly feature, right, for Nintendo to include this and add it and all the research and development cost. And maybe it is up front, but if you're still selling games that came out 5 or 10 years ago to be played on Switch 2, those development teams are no longer, working on that game.
Yeah.
They did a patch for it, but they're working on other projects. So you're just raking in money, hence the evergreen. So it's just like, this makes a lot of financial sense. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that this is just really cool. It's pretty awesome. The only other aspect we have to anything to talk about with Switch 2, at least this week, is, guys, it's the year of fucking Switch 2. I'm swearing for this one, baby. It's fucking the year of Switch 2, baby.
I know. It is really exciting.
Like, how excited are we? Like, we've been waiting so long. Like, even such like the Switch Pro rumors in like 2020 and 2021 for like better Nintendo hardware. And here we are. It's 2025. It sounds like we're getting everything, all the third-party games, all of Nintendo's great first party. Nintendo's actually talking about the system.
Yep.
We're getting leaks out of the damn factories, shipping data galore, mass manufacturing dating back to September. And we haven't even seen like the games yet. I'm this hyped right now, and I haven't even seen the software. I might cry when I see the software.
It's going to be really exciting.
Oh man, and as you know, just to remind everyone out there, like, we're so excited in general on the podcast that like there's a bonus podcast the day of reveal. It's happening. Now, I might get revealed on a Wednesday. I'm not gonna worry about it. But we're doing a bonus podcast the day of reveal because I have to talk about it. I can't just not like, yeah, I'll make a video. Yeah, we'll have our live stream reaction to it. But no, I need to get the boys together. We got to talk about this bad boy. I'm so hyped. Oh my, I don't even. Dude, somebody else talk. I got to stop. I'm too hyped.
Listen, Nintendo Live, I'm coming after you.
He's so hyped for Switch 2. He's going after Nintendo.
I will say that, like, obviously we talk about Switch 2 all the time. It's very exciting. I think really my whole life, and Nate, I know you're the same way. I'm sure, Mike, you are. It's very exciting once we start getting into that timeline and territory of thinking about the next console, right? And I can remember this, obviously I grew up with the NES, SNES, but as far as like getting really excited, getting on the internet, reading the video game magazines as much as I did, it was the 64, And then from then on, I mean, I even remember the days of Sega 32X, of course, Sega CD, renting that, Sega Saturn, Neo Geo, of course, renting that. I mentioned that earlier, but it's like I love the new technology coming out. It's very exciting as a gamer, and I remember like when Dolphin, when that first hit the internet, how exciting that was, and how many years we followed that. Like, just like we're doing here. It was the same thing, following these breadcrumb trails, trying to figure out what this machine's going to be. And then it was, of course, the Nintendo Revolution, which turned into the Wii. And I remember, like I said, I've mentioned this before, but I remember seeing patents back in the day, which is why I really, like Mike, yeah, I think you're the patent guy. And I remember reading about Nintendo having a patent with controllers that had accelerometers and gyroscopes in them. And everyone's like, what is that? There's no way. That's so stupid. That makes no sense. Why would they even do this? And everyone totally crapped on these patents. And here I am. Yeah, this is in the what? Mid 2000s. And I'm not crapping on it. Like, I'm taking this at face value, thinking, how could this work, right? And sure enough, when the Wii was shown the Revolution, that's what the controller was. That's what it had built into it. So when we see stuff like this, again, Mike's prefaced this a million times that it may not make it into the hardware today or next year or the following, but this is something that they're working on. Someone got paid to write up this patent. Like, someone's getting a salary at Nintendo in their research and development department. This might be something they do down the road, right? And even with Wii U, you look at Wii U, and then you look at the Switch. Like, there's a lot of comparables there, right? They had some things in common. Obviously, Switch was wildly successful, and Wii U wasn't. But there's things about Wii U that we ended up getting with Switch. So there's always things they're working on that we eventually may or may not get. In times like this are really exciting. You only have so many console launches in your lifetime, right? That's something I think you've talked about, Nate. We all have, and it's just like, that's the thing. And it may sound funny, but these are like the things that I look forward to, even as an adult, like being God, about to be my middle-aged 40. And it's like, it still hasn't changed, man. The excitement I have, and I try to quell it. And that's one thing I will say, that as you get older, I try to work on a little bit, because I have to do other things. Otherwise, I will think about this all day and I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't, because I got to do other things. I got to be productive in other areas, but I think about it all the time. And when they finally show the games, that is the most exciting part. Like, you remember Space World 2000 when they first showed the Zelda tech demo, and it was just like the realistic Zelda. This was after, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and that was so exciting. That's something that, like, you just don't forget, I think, if you were watching Space World back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to the website planetgamecube.com.
Oh,
I was a huge fan. What's his name was there? Billy Berghammer. You guys remember that guy?
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, he was great. Where's he working now?
I don't even know.
He's doing something cool. I remember seeing that, and I was shaking my head. I'm like, glad to see he's doing well. I liked him a lot. I liked who was it? Matt Casamassina over at IGN. I appreciated him. 7.9, or was Fran gave the 7.9 on Mario Kart, right?
Dude, Billy works at Nintendo now.
Yeah, he does.
He's the senior manager, player in product evaluation, analysis, and research at Nintendo of America.
Badass. See, I remember seeing that. I'm like, he made it. He made it, dude. I was so happy for him, because I really, genuinely, I went to planetgamecube.com. You guys may think I'm sick, but I went there literally a handful of times a day to refresh the news.
I mean, that's how you got news back in the day, right?
Yeah, it is. But I was refreshing multiple times a day when I should be doing something else probably. But that's the thing, dude, is about these console launches. So you're like, you, Mike, you're putting out patent videos all the time, and I love them. And again, I think there's a lot to them. And Nate, you're putting out videos all the time, and I love them. Everyone's got to remember that these times, man, you really actually got to appreciate and kind of cherish these times, especially if you've been in the game as long as some of us older middle-aged people have now. Like, these times are really exciting. So appreciate it, cherish it, because once the system comes out, it all goes away. I mean, then you're playing the games, but this time is really special. So, and we're almost at the finish line.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's happening.
Get to celebrate. You know, I've talked about it before, but it's the first console launch that I'm going to be celebrating it with other people ever.
Yeah, man. It happens.
Crazy to me. Like, I don't have anybody in my life. Like Eric, he was there with me when we got the Switch together. But here's the thing. Eric, he had a lot more energy and enthusiasm in his youth. You can say 7 years ago we were younger, absolutely, but he was a little dead by the time the system came out. Like, we had this excitement when we grabbed it, and we got in the car. He basically fell asleep on the drive home. Like, he was done. He was fucking done. So it's kind of like, damn. I want to keep being hyped and like, dude, I got to record this video. That's cool. Here's my Switch. I'll stand up. Yeah, you got 5 minutes of me on camera. Then I'm gonna go take a nap on your couch. I'm like, no, I want to boot this thing up. What are we doing? So like, I get to celebrate this not just like with fellow people on the podcast and everything and fellow YouTubers, but all the people watching. You know, we're gonna be live streaming on day one, obviously, answering any questions we can for people who can't get their hands on a system and they just want to know things or see how games run. Dude, it's gonna be so fun. It's such a new experience for me. I wasn't even really a YouTuber when the Switch came out. So like, that was a little bit after Switch came out. So I'm just, man, and I've only ever had 3 Nintendo systems at launch. This will be the 4th, which is awesome. I love launch, but like, I couldn't always afford to get all the systems at launch. Yeah. But I'm an adult now. I know how to look. You pay Uncle Sam and you set a little aside.
Yeah.
So like, I got it. So like, oh man, I'm so excited. I'm just, I can't. Mike, are you hyped or are you just like Mario?
I'm hyped, guys. I'm telling you, like what you both were saying. This is it's just kind of one of those things that you kind of remember for the rest of your life, because every console is a new generation. Like, people, like, there are going to be kids born at Switch 2 launch that will hold the Switch 2 and play their games 5, 6, 7 years from now. You know, by the time Switch 3 comes out, we're gonna be like old farts, you know. And so,
hey, now,
moments like this, and I think Joyce Day put it in the right way. You know, like when you're waiting for a new Zelda game, how many Zelda games do you get in your lifetime? You know, if they take 6 or 7 years to make each, right? How many Zelda games do you really get to play, right? It being your favorite franchise. Like, the Nintendo Switch is our favorite console. It's like, it's our bread and butter, and it's the console that we all have. Nintendo is the console that we all have, like this thing that's more than just an attachment. It's something that's more, it's deeper than that, right? It takes you back to that very first moment. I remember my dad coming home, going to Puerto Rico, because we moved to Puerto Rico. Me as a kid, I was like so scared, new place, didn't know Spanish. All of a sudden, my dad comes after a couple of months. I'm selling the house, and he comes with his box, NES system back in the 80s, 1988, I think it was. And I played Mario Brothers with him, like, literally every night. We kind of played it until we passed it, right? And so that was then for the NES. Right now we are in the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo has come this far, 40 years. And just kind of knowing that everybody has this there's their own story to tell, right? Right now we are in the beginning of a new era. This is our new year, right? New Year's Eve, this for Nintendo fans is our new year. A new system, new Switch 2. When they finally drop that trailer and we see the first images of whatever game they show, I could care less what game it is at this point. I'm like, I just want to see what you can do, man.
New baby.
And we see, we see the hints. We see the USB-C port. We finally find out what it's for, because we can assume whatever it is, right? That C button,
just you could charge from the bottom and the top.
Innovation.
Once
All at once.
we put 2 batteries in this son of a bitch.
That's hilarious. Charge them at once on both sides.
Yeah.
But it's really exciting. It's really exciting, man. I'm just thinking like Stash says, it's about the games, man. That next adventure in Mario, next adventure is Zelda, next Splatoon, Mario Kart, right? Metroid Prime 4.
IPs, baby.
I'm telling you, and it may be a new IP. Maybe a new IP. I know, Nate, you've been wanting a new action adventure game, right? To kind of,
I would like that too.
But they got all these platformers. They got a few RPGs. To be fair, they mostly just push Xenoblade these days. But hey, they come out with some every now and then that are different. I would like another action adventure for sure. Let's get to the Q&A. We have a bunch of questions already queued up. If you guys want to get some more Q&A questions in, if you're watching us on the live version, you just go ahead and super chat those in. Let's go ahead and get to
Nintendo Life. They're not allowed to
Malik Brawler here for $5. Said he's so excited and ready for Switch 2. I know, man. I'm there with you. Oh. Like, think how hyped I am now, and they haven't even shown it yet. Oh man, I get it. Thank you so much. Wait, we showed the smiley face of Hornsman earlier. I forgot to remove that one. AKA J comes in with the 20. It says, do you think we could get a side mode to Super Mario Galaxy 2 similar to what they did to 3D World? Love the stream so far.
I would love that. You mean like a Bowser's Fury type of game added to 3D Mario Galaxy?
Yeah, that's what they put in 3D World.
That would be amazing, because that will be a new Mario, maybe a mini adventure, but still a brand new Mario adventure, maybe inspired by Mario Galaxy, but in that world, right?
Mario Galaxy 2.5, baby.
Yeah,
that would be sick. Yeah, I think it's if they release the game on its own, I think that gives it a higher chance. Yeah. If it's just like a digital release or NSO, then no, or like a DLC to 3D All Stars,
yeah,
no. But if they release it as its own release, especially if they charge $70, then it better, right? It better come with an extra mode. What if they make it a multiplayer mode or something though?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be interesting. I will say I did mention this about Galaxy 2. Remember I was talking about if it was a standalone release.
Yep.
I almost want it to be, because I think that really increases the chances of us getting, more content in this game. Whether it be like a full-on HD remake or a really nice like HD remaster, like a Metroid Prime style, okay? Like really good. Or we get added content like you did with Bowser's Fury. Like, I would want that, right? Who wouldn't want more content added to Galaxy 2? Just like with Donkey Kong Country. Returns, 3DS got the 8 extra levels. Just give me something. We'll eat it up.
Got a leak alert? What is that? Leak alert?
I have no idea. It didn't really say anything, so everyone gets excited every time they see the word leak and Switch 2. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. Our next one comes in from Taker610. He says, wasn't the N64 the last launch for the 3D Mario? Yep, we brought that one up earlier. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Pokemon fan came in with the 20 spot, saying, do you guys think the games for Switch 2 leak if they wait too long? Also, what week in January do you think we'll get a trailer? My thoughts quickly. I don't think Nintendo's games will leak.
Yeah,
I think unless we do have some Nintendo Nate the Hate that could. I don't think they will though. I think the games that would leak will with third party. I think at some point, like if they keep waiting, like some third party stuff might get. Like I know about some third party stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm not leaking it, but it's
Yeah,
only a
yeah.
matter of like the wrong person finding out, and then they leak it. So
Yeah.
and once it's out there, yeah, I mean it'll get verified by everyone who's known the whole time.
Yeah, I think the closest we'll get to that is, like you said, Nate the Hate or somebody who has information talking about it or kind of saying, "Oh yeah, I heard this is going to happen," but never an actual Nintendo Switch 2 leaking because that's from Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't think the Nintendo stuff's going to leak at all. The stuff that hasn't been announced yet. Like, could something leak about Metroid Prime 4? Maybe, because that's also in the West, where a lot of leaks seem to happen in the West. But I don't think if Mario, I don't think you'll see anything. Like if you remember when they dropped the Switch trailer back in 2016, people were debating if that Mario game was even a real Mario game. That's how well Nintendo kept the lid on Mario Odyssey. We had no idea Mario Odyssey was in. We didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
There were no leaks for that game. So like Nintendo's biggest first party stuff, like we're not going to hear anything until it's revealed. Once it's revealed, all right, then you might hear some rumors and leaks in addition to what we find out. But as for what week in January, there's rumors for next week, obviously. Someone pointed out in the chat, I can't remember who it was, but because this event's on the 7th, the 8th date came from someone in China. Well, in China, their 8th would be our 7th. So the reveal could be on the 7th in the US. That's a rumor, obviously. I don't know. I know that Nintendo Talk told us 23rd was a date he heard. So if we presume it will get a trailer this month, we absolutely definitively. I heard it's being revealed this month. I don't know. I don't know any days. So I think the week after Donkey Kong makes the most sense. Get clear from Donkey Kong. You're still pretty far away from Xenoblade Chronicles X. And it's right before the investors meeting. So I think that's the right time to do it. Like that around that time Nintendo Talk was talking about the 23rd. I feel like that week is the most likely week. Stash, what do you think?
I was just looking up when in January they had the Switch 1 reveal. It's out of curiosity. It was on January 13th.
I mean, the state presentation.
Yeah.
But that falls on a Monday this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the trailer drop in October the previous year, which gone.
I still wonder. I really do if if they're going to do it the same way. Like I'm not in my mind, I'm not sold that it's going to follow that same structure as far as a reveal like they did in October and then the January and then the March release date.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is their first iterative console. And this is not brand new thing in a sense. It's bigger, better. And again, I don't know how they're going to go about explaining, or even if they will explain what DLSS is, because I think it's going to scare some people off. I think some people they don't want any part of AI and they don't want to try and understand it.
I don't think it ever gets mentioned by Nintendo. At least not in one of these public things. It's more of a developer side. You just put the games in and play.
So if it doesn't get mentioned, then
video,
then the presentation is just visuals, games bigger, better. Yeah, there's not. It's not like explaining the Wii or explaining the Wii U.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like this is literally an iterative console. So I'm just wondering if we're going to have the same structure.
I get kind of. I think that there is merit for a stage presentation.
I want one.
Yeah, just because if this system is at another level where it invites third-party developers inside, that we want to see those third-party developers take stage. We want to see Phil Spencer take stage and say, "Hey, you guys want to check out Call of Duty?" And they show Call of Duty, and it looks exactly how it looks on the other platforms, and it's running amazingly, And that's the way they can show the progress on Nintendo Switch on stage, right? I think that whether they do, I think there's probably going to be some type of gimmick, not as big as it as prior consoles, but I think it's Nintendo to have some sort of gimmick on their systems, right? And I think that
I think
this
the
is the
gimmick
best
will
way.
be an accessory with a new game.
Yeah,
The
the,
accessory,
the best way to demonstrate that gimmick. I mean, the magnetic thing stuff. It's something they can talk about for half an hour and how they get to work, and maybe they show accessories that also work with that magnet. Maybe there's not just the Nintendo Switch screen that has the magnets, but maybe all the accessories moving forward also have that magnetic thing. How like the wheel, maybe it has a magnet that it attaches to as well for that. Maybe there's other things that
more
the
material
magnet,
than ever.
yeah, the magnet is involved with the USB-C port. Maybe there's something other than that they want to show off. Maybe the Switch 2 is a very heavily accessory driven system where there will be accessories that will improve the way you play, right? Second screen, I'm not gonna rule it out. Maybe on top of that, right?
I know,
USB-C,
you're really into that.
you
I'm
know?
not going to
Yeah,
rule it out either, especially even in the modding scene. Like something could be done there because it's USB C. So
yeah.
something could be done there. I just wonder if we like I want a stage presentation and this is what I prefer and that's actually what I would like. What I'm wondering is do we need the teaser trailer? Can we just skip that? Do the big stage presentation? Have another thing maybe in a couple of weeks when we open pre-orders and then we look forward to the launch. I just wonder if we need to do the kind of three-pronged approach of teaser trailer when it's leaking everywhere. Teaser trailer, uh, stage presentation / launch games price. To me, there's one thing I look at specifically is that we live in a generation now that is instant gratification.
Hmm.
They want everything right now. Apple's really good at this in making an announcement and then releasing a product. The last iPhone, they announced it. 10 days later, it's in your hands. Announce, tell you everything great about it, tell you how we can take your money for it right now for pre-order.
That's smart.
And guess what? It'll be in your hands. I think it's very smart, and I think it totally plays to the world today, which is why I wonder, do you really want this huge, long lead up, especially when you can try doing a shorter one because this is an iterative console and see if it works?
Someone's buying into the January reveal, March release.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they
I've
could have a
never
stage.
put that out. Like it's not going to happen. I think there's a chance.
They could have a stage presentation, right? Instead of a trailer, just announce on Nintendo Direct, maybe.
Yeah,
A
see,
very
I don't think
special.
they'll do it. I don't think. Here's the thing: if it's truly iterative and they don't have anything like really crazy to show, or even if they did, they could just do like a 40-minute direct all about the system instead of doing like an actual in-person event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then through that, they could literally show everything. They could show all the updates to the eShop, all the differences there, differences to the parental app, like just everything in one in different sections. I think that would actually be really cool. I think that's what everyone would ideally want. They can answer almost everything.
I have a feeling they're gonna spend. I feel like there's gonna be a stage presentation, just because if the system does have some sort of camera in the system, like let's say the Switch 2 does have a camera. I feel there's gonna be major updates to the Mii's and how they look, and then they're gonna make them look more like you. So like you put the system here. You know how Apple does like the people
Face
that look
scan.
like you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and now it's a thing to have these little characters, and if Nintendo does want to bring back those characters in a big way, let's say for the next Nintendo Switch Sports, have your figure actually look like you, kind of resemble you, but in a funny kind of cartoonish kind of looking way. They might spend some time explaining how to scan your face, how to do this, and then showing that me person in action, right? And there's a lot of games that they use Mii's, right? What is that, Miitopia? Um, there's a lot of them out there, but
Yep.
yeah, I mean, there's Nintendo knows what they're doing. I think that we're just at this point. The anticipation is, man, crazy.
All right. We got a $20 super chat from Demonic Brawler saying people say it won't reach PS4 Pro levels. Tom Warren. Tom Warren today. But a PS4 with DLSS, ray reconstruction, and possibly even frame rate generator. Well, I don't think it, I'm pretty sure frame gen won't be there, but the rumors had to say it's not there anyways. But just for handheld, and nobody knows what the dock is truly capable of yet. I have no complaints. Look, even a base PlayStation 4 in your pocket with modern tech is amazing.
Yeah.
People forget how good the PS4 looks, and it's in your pocket, so it's only going to be 1080p. It's going to look phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation 4 games still look phenomenal. In fact, they look so good. That's why people think the PS5 was kind of a wash of a gen, because a lot of the games we see on there, people are like, well, most of them are also on PS4, and they look pretty good on PS4.
Yeah, I think if we look at the PlayStation Portal, that's an 8-inch screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's LCD. You can play PS4 games on it. If you have PlayStation Premium, I do, and I have. So I mean, I can tell you right now, it's similar. It's apples to apples as far as the screen's concerned. And if we're talking PS4 games on an 8-inch LCD screen, it looks fantastic. I mean, it looks amazing because it is on a smaller screen at 1080p. So it looks crystal clear. It's super sharp. In fact, you can even tell, like, on some games, I mean, really the biggest performance difference, again, is going to be the 30 to 60. If a game runs maybe at 30 on PS4, that's also on PS5, and on PS5 it runs at 60, right? But otherwise, when you're looking at it on a portable screen, I mean, you're going to be hard pressed sometimes to like really see a ton of difference. And again, when you're playing a game, are you looking at that? Or are you playing the game?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I play basketball my whole life. If I'm driving to the hoop and someone whacks the shit out of me,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone's like, nobody fouled you, or who fouled you? It's like, I don't know. I'm playing the game, man. Like, I'm literally in the air going to the hoop and I get fouled from the back. I don't know. I'm not looking at that. I'm playing the game. So when I'm playing a video game, there's action on the screen. I'm not looking at this stuff, dude. Like,
This is the best
if
way.
if you're watching, you're looking at it, but I'm playing it. I'm engaged.
Yep.
This is the best way to answer this question. Current gen games on PS4 right now: Call of Duty 6, Black Ops, Undisputed, Grand Theft Auto 5 because 6 hasn't come out, Street Fighter 6, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Final Fantasy Remake, The Witcher 3. Well, that's on Switch too. Red Dead is also there. Resident Evil 2. You know, Far Cry 5. That's all on PS4 right now, right? And this is again when PlayStation 4 came out. So if we get a PlayStation 4 powerful Nintendo Switch with again the hardware advancements that we've had now with when it comes to hard drive and not only DLSS and all that stuff, man. Again, I'm telling you, people taking a shortcut to reach the same level. Nintendo is taking a shortcut, a smart way, because that's how they've always been, taking a shortcut to reach the same level of quality that the big guys have that can't even afford to make a profit on their systems because they have to spend all their money on hardware. I'm not throwing shade, but it's true. No, but they're not making profits on their system, losing money left and right. And here's Nintendo doing the smartest thing ever and giving us quality while still making a profit. So,
yeah. Look, guys, all these power debates with Switch 2 are only because we haven't seen a game yet.
Yep.
That's it. The moment we see it, sure, you're still going to have your naysayers out there to point out, well, this doesn't look as crisp as my PlayStation 5. Well, no shit.
Go to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, that shouldn't even be the comp. compared to Steam Deck's version. Don't be comparing it to PS5 with its giant, massive heat sinks and its 200 power watt draw from the wall. Come on now.
Yeah, because ultimately, it's like what matters most is right. Sure, great, but is the game fun? Are you having a good time?
Exactly.
Right. Otherwise, you're wasting time.
Yeah. Perfectly put. So this was the person who brought it up. Wouldn't the 8th in Asia be the 7th in America? Yes. That's why I said we've been reading it wrong the whole time. It's actually the 7th is what that guy might have been teasing.
Yeah, or maybe he's saying it's going to be the 8th here by the 9th there, or the 10th there by the 9th
next
here,
week, whatever.
7th in Japan.
Next week. And again, the guy claims that it was for a beta for a game whose beta is actually the week after.
Or maybe his beta it's his real name.
Anyways, so we'll see. We're about to find out if that guy who got everything from the June Direct next week. We're gonna find out if that guy's legit. Let's see here. Next up, we have a $2 one from Vito Libido. It says, "You think we'll get a gimmick at launch?"
Yep, I think so.
What 3-4 switch?
I think I think there will be a gimmick game, that will
Yeah.
present. Yeah,
I think most of the
Mr. Gimmick.
I think most of the gimmicks are going to be accessory based, so
Yeah.
optional, not in the box. So like think like your Ring Fit Adventures where you get the ring, right?
Mhm.
So I think there'll be something at launch that is like an idea that they wanted to use the magnetic Joy-Cons for, or they wanted to use the magnetic connection for something, or if they wanted to, as I said, like legs, but then they decide to do some weird accessory with it. I don't know. Like I'm not Nintendo. I'm not the creative. So like,
talk about the sequel to ARMS.
I don't think the system itself in the box will have much of a gimmick. I could be wrong though.
Maybe the box is the gimmicks.
The box is the gimmick.
It's a Labo.
It's empty when you open it.
It's a Labo VR headset.
Yeah, the box turns into the Labo thing.
Isn't that a good idea? Recycling.
Hey, happens. Let's see here. Thunderstat, you think there's gonna be a gimmick at launch?
It's hard to say because if the gimmick is kind of what I think it is, it's not a gimmick really, right? Like the DLSS, like if
it's just all your Switch One's games are better, that's just a feature.
That's just badass. Yeah,
that's just a feature. Like
exactly. So I think if we can define it as feature, right? I think it's that. But as far as a game, I mean, God, it could be, if that is the feature, the first thing you got to look to is first party titles on Switch One. I mean, obviously, that's the first thing that would be getting the upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Demonic Brawler came back with $2. Said, "Will Nintendo release first party SD Express cards?" I say yes. I don't think at launch because of the price. But I think and by the way, we didn't have Switch themed ones. I don't think at launch of Switch either. But I do think like a couple of years in, they'll partner with SanDisk or someone and have some Nintendo themed ones for sure. Yeah, like because at some point, once the price is more reasonable, even for like a 256, it gets down in price enough that because the prices on SD Express are only going to get cheaper over the years as there's more devices that can use it. So
yeah, like M2 SSDs. The price I paid for mine, don't even want to say, versus the price it is now, night and day. So they'll come down.
How big is it?
Well, when I got mine, all they had was 1 terabyte.
Well, did you pay $250?
I think I paid maybe $219 to $250. Yeah,
I was gonna say
how much they were.
Yeah, that was about the price back when PS5 came out.
And you know what they go for now, which is why I'm like, I wonder if that save point from Genki will work, because that would probably be a good deal to get that and an M2 SSD.
Yeah, you can go 4 terabytes for that price though.
Yeah, it almost might work out better than getting an SD Express. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on that. I think we all should.
All right. Wink demanded $5 and he said, "Do you think the Switch 2 will give us an easier way to eject mini SD cards without turning the system off?" It's a very good question because there are some people that swap SD cards in because they have different games on different cards because they don't have it. Well, they only recently had the 1 terabyte ones and now 2 terabyte ones. So I do think that they probably won't, unfortunately, because it's easier. It's easier programming wise to just have the system shut off to switch your internal memory than to do it while your system's on. This is even true with like PCs. Like if you plug in a drive, a thumb drive's fine, but you go plug in an M.2, your computer won't do shit with it until you reboot your computer. So I know they could try to treat it like it's a USB thing, but I just don't think they will because it's meant the micro SD card slot meant to be like you put it in and forget about it. Like that's the idea behind those slots. It's not like on a camera, like this camera I have here has got 2 SD card slots. It's meant to be hot swapped while you're recording. Like you're meant to, like it's got 2 slots. You go, it warns you when one's getting full. Then you switch to the second one, and then you can pop out the first and put a new one in while you're still recording. But that they're doing that with 2 slots. As far as we're aware, there's only gonna be 1 here. So I don't think they're gonna give us the ability to call hot swapping while your system's on. I don't think they're gonna let you do that. Yeah, looks like Stash agrees. But you agree, Mike, or you going the other way?
For the SSD card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's gonna be a third party kind of thing for now, and then later on.
I don't ever see them being able to hot swap it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I unplug my external, I have the SSD, I have the internal SSD expansion, and then I also have a 4 terabyte external.
Yep.
That I plug in, and if I unplug that, PlayStation freaks out. I get a ton of warnings. It's very slow to start up because it has to tell me all the things that I did wrong because I didn't power it off correctly. There's no way something like that, in my opinion, would work.
Yep. Only like USB thumb drives seem to work that way, and those are those aren't nearly as reliable of storage mediums. Like people get corrupted files on it all the time. Why? Because it's hot swappable media. That makes it more corrupt. So I don't think they're going to do it that way. The reason they have you do that is to not corrupt data. In case you were wondering, like that's the big. If you rapid power off a drive improperly, even an SD card, you could. It has to be like a device like my camera that's specifically designed that way. And even with my camera, once it swaps to the second SD card, it shuts down the other one. That's why you can eject it and put a new one in. So like it's. Yeah, if there was 2 slots, I would say maybe they'd allow it, but no. Wink Demand says, "Do you think?" Wait, I already read that one. Sorry, that's the one we just did. Demonic Brawler for $2 says, "Mother 3, Chrono Trigger, and Diddy Racing on NSO." I think Diddy Racing makes it there someday. Chrono Trigger, I hope will.
It's from Square Enix, right?
Yeah, I hope Chrono Trigger.
Do we have Square Enix in NSO yet, or no?
No,
I don't think so.
No, I mean we wouldn't, especially with the Final Fantasy anthology collection. You know, they're selling that. Those would obviously be great games to put out on the NES and the SNES, and of course the Game Boy. Like, does the Game Boy have Final Fantasy Adventure on NSO? I think it could. Does it have the Adventure one? Obviously, people don't really count that, but I will say this. Look, Rare's got more games coming. We saw the slots. Remember?
Yeah.
So what's left?
Yeah.
Dude, Microsoft really respects Nintendo. They really do.
Well, they wanted to buy them, so
I know. And why wouldn't they? Right? Like why wouldn't they? I think we see Diddy.
Yeah.
I think that we see Conquer if Nintendo's down. If they're down. But there's open slots there. Killer Instinct Gold.
They got
Is
the
that
18.
on there?
Yeah.
They could do that, yeah. Mother 3 is the one on this list, guys, that I just know. Like, by the way, it's already on NSO in Japan.
Yeah, you just download the Japan version.
Download the Japan app.
I just don't understand why it's not coming. I mean, obviously, I don't want to hear the translation stuff really, because it's like,
It's
the fan translations out there.
It's
You
all
you
NOA's fault. I'm telling you right now.
I agree with Diddy Kong Racing coming to NSO, and I
But then
think
you gotta say that
it's coming
Reggie
soon.
was pushing for it for a long time. And
was.
he was the president, and it still didn't happen. So is it actually NOA's fault, or is there like because like there's other copyright concerns with that game, but I'm like, yeah, but they keep bringing it back in other regions, so that really
That's the
can't be
thing.
a problem.
I agree. That's the thing, is that it is coming out in other regions, and
It has to be a legal thing, but then like something's really fishy that Nintendo's keeping under wraps if it's a legal thing.
yeah, and it's like I don't know what's wrong with the game, like as far as what the West would have an issue with. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there
Well,
something that will upset people?
especially in today's world. Like the stuff in there that would be considered taboo is like normal now.
That's what I would want to think. I mean, look at the GTA 6 trailer.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was filmed in my backyard.
All
Yeah,
I know
like-
is it's been 40 years. Not quite 40 years for Mother 3, but it's been a while, and it still ain't over here in the West. I just don't.
I will say, keep your eye on Square this year, obviously, but Chrono Trigger's it's got the 30th anniversary this year, so you never know.
I love this one here. Taker 610, $2. The Wii was sold as the Hoi in Quebec.
The Hui. Hui.
Hoi.
Or the yes in Italy. Question, because we do have Banjo as a racer in Diddy Kong Racing, right? We have rare characters in there. Do you think that's the reason why then it's not on NSO yet? Or is that fully owned by Nintendo and everything included within the game is fully owned by Nintendo?
I think people assume that Nintendo doesn't want to put Diddy Kong Racing on there because it's a competitor of Mario Kart. That's been like the number one reason forever, because it would have online multiplayer.
Yeah.
But I don't think they need to worry about that with modern day Mario Kart. So I think that's a dumb reason. Microsoft loves Nintendo. Microsoft will literally wants every character they have to be in Smash. Like there ain't a problem here.
Mhm.
There is no problem.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna get Rare Replay on Switch 2 at some point.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Like there's no problem here. I think this is just. I think this is when people say like, "Oh, it hasn't happened. They're never gonna do it." Do you not know that they drip feed NSO guys? They're not just planning the drip feed now. Their roadmap for drip feeding is like decades out, probably at this point.
Yeah.
Some games are just not there because they plan to add them in like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Diddy Kong Racing could be one of those games. The longer they don't put it on there, the higher the desire for it is, making it a bigger deal when they drop it.
Agreed.
So like they're just, some of this stuff they're just going to keep like wave rate. Like they're just going to keep spreading things out. It is what it is. Demonic Brawler again. Nintendo's about to blow our minds.
That's the question. It's the question. Nintendo's about to blow our minds?
It is Nintendo. Sorry, for me, it's a statement at this point. They're going to blow our minds. So to answer your question, yes. I don't know that there's any other response. No, it's gonna suck. Worst console reveal ever coming up.
I mean, they can drop the ball when revealing it.
This
And just do
is a statement, though.
bad presentation.
Bring back the console intro screen. That is true.
agree.
We don't really have that on Switch.
Right? Something like GameCube.
I agree.
I haven't shut down my Switch entirely in a long time. Does a logo even pop up when you turn it on anymore?
Yeah. Let me see.
I literally haven't shut my Switch all the way down.
Mine is on too.
I haven't shut mine all the way down in a long time.
For anyone with a PlayStation 5, we all saw what they're doing right now.
30th anniversary, yeah.
Yeah, it's the PS1 startup. It's sick. It's so nostalgic. I love it. Nintendo's got to tap into that.
The hour of truth. We'll find out if there's an animation.
I think it's just Nintendo. Okay. I don't think anything. Then it just goes, I believe, to the Switch logo does pop up.
It doesn't click though.
But no music.
There's no music, no sound,
Oh my God.
no animation.
No music anywhere.
It's
No
literally just
eShop.
still images that fade in, fade out, then you're there. Yeah, it would be cool to have something. I mean, look, people aren't going to hard power down and hard power up very often, anyways. But for when you do, especially like the initial boot, like everyone wants that nice initial boot memory. You know, Sony does a really good job at giving you a pretty decent initial boot memory. You know, I remember even on the Wii U, like it wasn't a crazy initial boot memory, but they had a little personality in there when you were transferring your Wii games and stuff over. They had little guys on screen running with your data across rope.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is really cool.
It was cool.
And like it was like a one-time thing. I'm never gonna see that again because I just transferred all my Wii data. I don't need it anymore. So like having something like that, it's just a little personality thing. That would be kind of cool. Is Nintendo gonna do it? Like the Switch is on the precipice of being the best selling system of all time, and they never had to worry about it. So I think probably not. But I want it to come back.
I think
Anybody
you
else
get,
think that the kickstand is dumb? The new one that in the
The U?
mock-ups. Yeah, I don't like it because I
Why?
mean it kind of lends for kids to kind of just hold it, open it and just hold it like a little thing and just kind of rip it off.
Dude, I have kids. That's the least thing I'm worried about them ruining on it.
Man,
I'm just telling you, I did it.
the best feature ever. Look at this. It's the best feature.
A kickstand.
Yeah, look, it turns into.
I
like
can't remember the last time I even used the kickstand on my Switch OLED.
Look at that.
I used it over the summer when I was flying.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You fly.
Yeah, that's about the only
I
time.
put it there and I was using my
You
Pro
ever seen that
controller.
movie?
Yeah. That's about the only time I think. This is the last time I used it was when I was flying. Yeah.
You fly
Yeah.
too? You birds?
Yeah. Sure do.
You guys birds?
Absolutely. Our next one here comes from $2 from Shiny Shady Boy. How do you think the bots and scalping will be? Pretty bad.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
I think it's be really
I
bad.
think Nintendo is actually preparing themselves for it. The registration method on Nintendo Switch. Nintendo did something with the Nintendo Live event where first thing you have to have an account that is a certain amount of age. It couldn't be this brand new. Second, you could buy as many as there is people on your account, and those account holders were also, not just added. So when they did the Nintendo Live event, it was like a lottery kind of thing there. But I'm not saying they could do a lottery. I'm saying that at least they could start that way with you. You need a Nintendo Online account that is active, has a credit card there, and then you have a limited amount for that specific account.
So to do that would mean they're not selling it at retail.
I'm saying on their side because retail will take care of retail. I know who was it? Best Buy did a fantastic job with one of the systems that were recently released, where they had a waiting room and they had like a little counter, like it was like a line. You have to wait in line,
Sure. Yeah.
and then it was your turn. They dropped you to buy the system. You had to wait there to buy the system. You got it, and then you checked out. And if you wait too long, then so something like that. Waiting in line online sucks, but I mean, it's the best way to prevent scalping.
Like the best way to prevent scalping is pre-orders in person at a physical retail store. Like that's the best way, because
That is.
anything that involves online, they've already worked around it with bots. As you said, Nintendo accounts have to be so many days old. You don't think they've already thought about that and already have pre-made thousands of those accounts? Of course they have. Think about waiting in line. Oh, you got to wait in line. Yeah, you're waiting in line. You and 20,000 other bots. Like that's the thing that they've already, all of this stuff, especially because it's already existed for PlayStation and stuff. They've already thought about all this. All these scalpers, these are professional money makers, is what they are. Because to them, this is a business. For us, is we just want our cool system. To them, they're thinking, no. We want to sell this system at double the triple the value, and we want it to be sold out. So we're going to help it get sold out, and we're going to make it so as few consumers as possible get their hands on it, so they have to buy it through us. Now, I think Nintendo's strategy, they said, we're going to flood the market, basically. I think what they really mean isn't that day one there's going to be 6 million of them, like so many that it's impossible to scalp them all. I think what they really meant is we're restocking this thing all the time. Every few days, Every few days, 20 new systems show up. Every few days. Because I think that was the issue with the PlayStation. While it was sold out and obviously was dealing with the pandemic, the PlayStation 5. One of the biggest thing is like stores would get units, but they'd get like 1, 3. And so they'd force you to buy it online so you could pick it up at the store because they didn't want lines of people at their store trying to get the PS5, but they weren't getting very many. The solution is have a hell of a lot more showing up more often. Then the scalping won't matter. By the time you're like, oh, you think about the scalper for a few days, you're going to pull the trigger. Oh, my local Walmart just got a shipment of 50. I'm just going to go there and pick it up. Like, that's what it's about. It's the in-person is really the solution here. No matter what launch day, all the online pre-orders are going to have scalping and bot problems. It's just going to happen. It's about the in-person. And I would actually like the Nintendo to push more to the in-person. Just give every GameStop 150 of these bitches. Give every Walmart, like incentivize in-person pre-orders. That doesn't mean you have to have online because there's people that don't have retail stores around them. Absolutely. And to your credit, Mike, yes, they could do something at the My Nintendo store online where they have like a Nintendo account and it's got to be 5 years old and whatever, with a queue to get in, and then you get to order one or something like that, right? So they can ensure as many households, get their hands on it as possible. But that's still only going to be for their store. Like PlayStation has stuff with their store as well. It's only for their store. That's got nothing to do with the retailers. Most people are going to buy it from retailers. So I think it's going to be it's always going to be a problem because it's legal. It's completely legal in the US to do it. So it's always going to be a problem as long as it's legal, because if it's legal, it's encouraged. But how you bite the scalper's ass is the way Nintendo sounds like they're going to deal with it. Frequent restocks with a significant amount of systems. That'll literally prevent the sale of all the... Nintendo still made their money. Hurt the scalpers. Make them have to eat it and either sell it at MSRP or, God forbid, they got to sell it at a loss.
That's what they did with the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, PS5 Pro. Scalpers jumped all over that shit. They had to sell it at MSRP or a loss. Now, that was probably due to lack of demand. rather than flooding the market. I don't think Sony was really flooding the market. I think it felt like they did. Because as an example, when I go to Walmart, I don't see PS5 Pros on the shelf. But I found out why. They have a sign there saying, ask an associate about PS5, even though there's PS5s in the thing. I asked the associate, oh, were you trying to buy the Pro? Yeah, we got 50 of them in the back. Is that what you want? No. Why didn't you put it in the case? It's $700. We're worried people might break the case and steal them. I'm like,
I see them.
You got 50 in the back. No one's buying them. What are you worried about? I guess people might be more willing to steal them than buy them. I don't know what we're talking. I'm like, you have $1,000 computers out here. Yeah, but we only have one. You just tell us you want it, and then we go to the back and get it. I'm like, all right, I guess maybe it's a Walmart policy if something's over a certain price.
Yeah, I see PS5 Pros on my Target. They're just packed.
At your Target, see, I haven't been to my Target yet.
They're packed.
So it's Walmart. They literally have a sign up that you just ask the associate, and they go back and get it.
Dude, our Target, all of the Targets in the Phoenix area. Okay, look, it's getting bad. Let me tell you what's going on. If I want to possibly invest in maybe a package of boxer briefs, they're locked up.
Oh man.
Oh, so
undershirts, socks locked up. Everything's locked up, guys.
The crime must be so bad to lock
Not
everything.
here. Everything is out in the
What's
wild.
crazy though is, okay, so obviously I know Phoenix, I know Arizona extremely well. I'm a native, and there's Targets that are in areas where there's not a lot of crime.
Yeah, like a more upper class area.
Yes, they're doing it. Everyone is doing it. All the Targets. So the Targets in the bad area, okay, I understand. Target in the good area, I don't understand. And I really just can never understand locking up boxers. And I'm like, really? I gotta find somebody. Do you know how hard it is to find somebody to help me?
It's so hard to find someone for basic stuff.
If I need a game, I swear to you guys, so many times I'll look around, I'll go up and down aisles at the same time. I got my AirPods in with it dialing the store's number, and I'll be like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm over here at the video game section. I'm just trying to get a game." They're like, "Oh, you're here right now?" I'm like, "Yeah." You just send anyone over.
Yeah,
It's so hard. Walmart's, you guys know Walmart's the same
No,
thing.
bad.
You guys welcome to Florida. Things are a little different here. I mean, everything is. I think the only thing that we have locked out is, of course, it's the systems and electronics and games, but everything is out in the field.
Well, in Wisconsin, we don't really have anything locked up but electronics. That's it. It's the
Yeah.
only thing locked up. They used to try to lock up DVDs back in the day because so many people were slitting the packages and sliding them out.
Remember DVDs?
But now with like the
DVD.
Blu-ray section, they just have that out. You can just grab them now. I wonder why. It's almost as if people aren't really buying them anyway. So if you
Yeah, I
jack,
know.
if you jack a Blu-ray, I don't think Walmart's going to miss it because it's probably going to sit on the shelf for the next 5 years.
It'd be cool if VHS came back. Just for some, like a gimmick kind of,
All
like
right, let's hear
records do.
Pokemon fan comes in for $4.90 and says, when do you guys think there will be a direct or stage thing showing off Switch 2 and everything about it? Well, I feel like Stash was saying this month.
Yeah.
Like, just go right to that.
I'd love to see it. I mean, if we're gonna get it early,
I mean,
it makes sense.
I would like it to be this month. Is the booze locked up in Wisconsin's stall show? After 9 p.m. because you can't buy it after 9. You can buy beer till midnight, but after 9 p.m. the booze is locked up. Otherwise, no. Booze is just right out there. Go right ahead. You want to grab that $1,000 bottle? Go for it. They got fucking security cameras everywhere. You walk out without paying for it, you will get tackled.
Mhm.
Which also means that
will get
$1,000
tackled.
booze is going to get broken. But
Straight to jail. Straight to
See,
jail.
here you can buy booze till 2 a.m.
You
Yeah,
go
no,
fast, straight to
so-
jail. You go
no,
slow, straight to
Wisconsin's
jail.
very weird. So 9 p.m. you can't buy the hard liquor anymore. You just buy beer till midnight. But you can go to a bar and buy a bottle from the bar and bring it home.
Yeah.
All the way till 2 a.m.
And see, bars don't sell alcohol here
Well, no,
unless you're a distillery.
people don't think about it because who goes to the bar to buy a bottle of booze? Nobody.
No, it's gonna be more expensive.
Yeah, but they can legally sell it to you until 2 a.m. I think the whole idea is Wisconsin wants everyone to go to the bars, make the bars some money because they're a really big money maker in Wisconsin. February 7th. Mike's just. Anyways, that's what he was saying for when he thinks a direct will be. He put it on his phone February 7th. Clip it for our audio listeners, just to let you know. Mike was saying February 7th. Again, I've already said when. I think the week of the 23rd, and then I hope it's next week. That's what I hope. But as for I hope it's a big blowout. I have no idea. Only one who knows is probably Nintendo and their marketing team. Taker610, $5 says they're going to instant drop Switch 2. You'll be watching the presentation and Takahashi will tell you to look down and the box will be in your hand. Yup. That's the gimmick.
Look under your seats. You get a switching. You get a switching. You get a
And
switching.
they're like, hey, buddy, grab your Switch OLED quick. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Just watch the screen. Shh, materialize. It's a Switch 2.
If for some reason you guys are not able to pre-order a Switch 2,
Hey, don't bring that into the atmosphere.
I know.
We all
I just
will.
want to know, and I'm sure I know the answer, but you guys are willing to go the old-fashioned route, right?
What's
Of
the old-fashioned route?
camping out.
Steal it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll camp
sure.
out. Dude, I'm going to camp out.
I totally will too.
I'm camping out the pre-order, no problem.
Yeah.
The moment I hear, pre-orders will be live, at the store like tomorrow. Fuck. What time is it? Is it 5 p.m.?
Let's do
Well,
it.
let me pack some shit. I'm going to camp out.
Yeah, like if there's for some reason I was not able to secure a pre-order online, there's no way I'm not getting it launch
I gotta
day.
get-
So yeah,
I gotta
I'm
get
camping
5.
out.
I gotta get 5. So
Yeah.
like I'll be on my phone while in line trying to pre-order online.
Cool thing about here is that I live outside of Orlando, right? A little town outside of Orlando. I moved just far enough that there is a Target that is not in the city that people don't really go to that much. So I can go ahead and just pre-order and just get there quick.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was able to get a couple of the consoles that were like that was selling out quick, that were themed at the back when Switch was selling even better.
Krista R coming in saying, Mike, thank you for the Fit My Cat code you stealth dropped in the chat earlier. I've been playing it all stream and I'm hooked. See, when Mike's on the show, you never know. He does random shit. I was like, why did you drop a code in the chat? We didn't talk about this. Not sponsored. At least
I dropped several codes. Like I think it was 4 codes and
the last one, and I just didn't notice.
It was an Xbox One, also an Xbox One, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can tell on the codes. Like if you guys do enough codes, you know what systems they're for just by glancing at it. That's why I'm like, oh, that's a Switch code. Yep, seen those a zillion times. Taker 610, our last one that we have right now, $2 says, come February 4th, over under 151 million units sold. So we had an update on this from Paul Gale Network. I haven't covered it yet. But as of December 31st, 150 million has been crossed. Now, Paul's got some accurate sources with sales stuff. He teases these sales milestones all the time. So the idea would be, well, by February 4th, do we think it hit 151? Because it won't include January. So he said over 150. So will it be 151? I'm going to say under. I'm going to say the big number they're going to put out there is going to be in the 150s, like 150.2 or something.
I think so too. I think it's going to be 160.
Well, that's over.
Why is it over? It hasn't begun yet.
Well, because February 4th is the investors meeting, so it's going to be the holiday sales through December.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'll say 155.
All right, that's over.
How is it over? It hasn't begun yet.
It's over under 151, Mike. That's what he's asking. Over under 151.
Over under 151. I don't get it. Is it over or is it under?
If you say 155, you are taking the over. You're saying it's going to sell more than 151 million. Like at the meeting, they're going to announce 155 million units have sold. You don't understand the question?
Say it again.
We have an investors meeting on February 4th, right?
Yeah.
They update the sales of the Switch every investors meeting. When they update it, will it be over or under 151 million?
It will be over.
Yeah, see, there we go. That's all. That's what I was looking for. All right, I'm going with the under. You understand over and unders, right? You're a sports betting guy over there, right?
Of course.
Over.
Yeah, I'm going over.
Over. All right. It's a very simple. Like if you guys ever like do any sports betting of any kind, the over under is one of the simplest bets to make. All right. We just had a bonus one come in here, $10 from Necro Banana. My prediction for the gimmick is that the dock is a storage unit for games. Interesting. And the C button lets you swap out digital games that are saved in the dock and put them on the Switch to take on the go. So like there's extra storage in the dock.
That'd be cool.
Huh.
And then you hit the C button to activate or access or just make your system automatically cross the games onto your local. That's
interesting. It's not something I've ever thought of, but
it seems complicated, but Nintendo would probably explain it in a very simple way.
They would. It's a cool idea.
That would be neat. I mean, any way to get extra storage in dock mode that I don't have to attach anything is nice.
Nah, I just think that the C button stands for cocoa. You push it and you get cocoa delivered to your door. Cocoa, hot chocolate with marshmallows.
Dude, I watched a video today from Freaking Reviews he bought a $150 hot cocoa maker, and apparently it's the best hot chocolate he's had in his life.
Really?
Then he concluded with saying, yeah, but it costs $250 a cup, plus you have to buy the thing.
What?
He said, I don't know that it's 150% more expensive than your $1 cocoa you can go get at the gas station better, but it is good. I'm like, this is some bougie ass shit, man. Like if I said, you know what, that's it. If I'm ever a millionaire, that's my goal. to have that $150 hot cocoa maker because I'm going to be a bougie ass guy. Be like, oh yeah, you like your Nesquik hot cocoa? You ain't having the real shit. So it's good. It makes really good hot chocolate. Also, it's way too expensive. But what are you gonna do? All right, guys. Hey, I still think the little Keurig hot cocoa packs I put in taste all right when I do it on the little coffee maker.
I've never had hot cocoa in the Keurig.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not that bad. You add your own marshmallows, of course, because you ain't gonna clog up your shit with marshmallows, right? Anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode of the podcast, guys. We broke a few records today as well. We'll talk about that at the end. Thunderstash, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Thunderstash Gaming, and I'm on X a lot. I like to stay there for the news, especially. I mean, there's just so much news. That's where everything's happening. That's where you're gonna hear it first. Is on X. Mike's on there. Nate's on there. There's a lot of people on there that know they know what's up, and that's where the news is at. So if I don't have a new video coming out, I'm on there. I check that often. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I just do the bare minimum there. I really do, because I just can't be spending time on there. Because I'm not going to get anything done.
They talk.
There's news. There's news on X. There's a lot. There's just
Literally,
videos there.
Like the number one reason I'm there is because half my research I find X.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. I follow a lot of different people in gaming, and yeah, it's always an adventure. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube though, Thunderstash Gaming. Check out my review for Metaphor ReFantazio. I will say, I have a very, very strong feeling that will be coming to Switch 2. So that's more reason to watch it, because hey, if this game comes out on Switch 2, you're gonna want to see this review. So if you want to get it. It did win quite a few awards at the Game Awards.
Yes, it did. Mike, where can they find you, buddy?
In Orlando, Florida. If you visit Orlando, I'll be here. I live here, next to Disney World. And Mickey Mouse been lazy. But you can find me at the Odyssey Monday through Friday. Nintenbyte Podcast is coming very soon. What's it? Is it this Friday? Let me see. What is this Friday?
The 3rd.
The 3rd. I think it's the 3rd. Joyce's in the chat. Joyce, is it the 3rd? I don't remember.
The 3rd is Friday for sure.
The 3rd. We have the Nintenbyte Podcast season 4 starting up again. Pretty cool show. Another podcast.
I'm gonna need some podcasts for the 3rd, man. I got 6 hours of driving on the 3rd, so I'm gonna need some podcasts that day.
Yeah. So yeah, you can tune in. We're there Friday every night live with Joyce in the chat. We got Paul Gale Network with the numbers. We got Lily Hyrule with the Hyrule, and we got we have a podcast this week. Okay, so then it's not this week. If Joyce doesn't know, it's the 10th, not this week. So next week.
Wait, what?
Not the 10th this week.
I don't run your show. I just know the Friday is the 3rd. That's all I know.
Yeah. I've been under the weather. Hospital now, but yeah. And this year I'm planning on doing more live streams, more reviews, hopefully coming to the show. Nintendo Live Report. We got the It's Superflix, which is growing. Kind of, I'm disappointed because it's growing more than my own channel.
Stop being disappointed that you found success. Guys, I'm successful at another channel.
And another thing that's not Nintendo. Yeah, I mean, I'm just here, guys. I'll be here next week at the Prime Podcast. Maybe the following week. Also,
you're scheduled
the following week.
You're not scheduled next week, bud. Sorry to tell you that. He's like, oh, but I'll be here. I'm like, I overbooked, man. I got HMK, Gamebird Classic, Favlam, Eric is back. I'm pretty packed.
I'll be here. You'll see.
He's like, I'll still be here. You just wait. I'll find a way to. He did tell me he wants to be on every episode in January.
Well, yeah, guys, you can find me Monday through Friday at the Mike Odyssey web channel. Right now, I'm literally just a couple subscribers away from hitting that 51,000. So if you could go show some love, I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Love you. We got like hundreds of codes more to give out.
All right. You guys know who I am. I'm Nintendo Prime. You can find me Nintendo Prime everywhere. This is the Nintenbyte Podcast. It's available everywhere that your audio stuff is available. Otherwise, video-wise, live every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, unless we had to move it like we did for Christmas. But that's the first episode we've ever moved. It's always on Wednesday. This was even New Year's Day. Still did it today. I did mention we broke a couple of records today. We hit our highest ever peak viewership on a Nintenbyte Podcast. We hit 415 live.
You are welcome.
That's pretty
nice.
But they see the Odyssey's gonna be here. It causes a commotion,
Yeah, the Odyssey's here. Maybe it was really Nick with no K. I don't know.
Back scratcher did it too.
So that's an all-time record for the podcast. So I just wanted to point that out. Also, this is our first ever episode that we had over 200 likes while the episode was airing. So just throwing that out there. The podcast growing. Our best ever live episode. I don't know if the viewership afterwards is going to keep growing. We'll see. But the best ever live episode of the Nintenbyte Podcast. That's really exciting to literally start out 2025 with a bang. Big Switch 2 leak. Big podcast episode, baby. Hopefully this is signs of things to come this year. I'm saying. We're starting this year pretty strong. All right, go subscribe to everyone who's on our show. Don't forget Nick with no K, who is here as well. He does anime content. So that's his big thing. So go check out his channel as well. It's linked down below. You guys are amazing and awesome. The only other thing, if I could ask anything of everyone watching, the 300 that are still here,
subscribe to my God.
Go subscribe to the Nintenbyte Clips channel. Because starting tomorrow, my goal, I didn't mention it earlier because it's the podcast goal, but my goal is to actually get all the clips done every single week. So there will be a clip from the show going up tomorrow because I've already set aside, remember I said the time management thing? I already set aside a time slot to make all the clips tomorrow. So the clips will get made. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. You know what? Let's go ahead and hit the intro as the outro since I haven't used it in forever.
You stop by for the Nintenbyte. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sunlight. Summer shoots her beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past.